Yeah, we find her, the beautiful girl we've been missing. We wanna have her kissing. We find her, now we in love. So go so the remix.
DMB, Tux Bites, remix.
Now if I had to lose you like a bad phone connection, I'd change my game to get a better reception. Sit back, let's start this interaction. Don't fight the feelings, just a chain reaction. Your heart won't give it the wrong instructions. Like my GPS, yes, I got the right direction. We gotta merge together like a road intersection. Last stop is gonna be my love and affection. I ain't like the other dudes, they wanna call you shorty, but I'ma call you a beautiful girl. I took your picture home, my mama saw it, she's a very, very beautiful girl. I wanna put you in my video, cause you're so beautiful. You're a beautiful girl. So when you hear us in your radio, turn up your stereo. It's beautiful girl.
Gotta find a shorty, what's worth of a lady. It's nice, but maybe doesn't look like 40. It's taking a little time. I wasn't seeing no signs, any traces of my baby. Who's gonna be my baby? But I thought I'm gonna take my time. Within it took a long fun eye. I saw a shorty passing by. She's got this very pretty smile. It was right at the bus station. I tried to make a conversation, holding her arms, feeling so charmed. I felt this sensation. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Now I realize I found me a beautiful girl. She's a model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it by. Beautiful girl. Sparkling eyes are killing tight. I found me a beautiful girl.
My wish came true when I saw you, girl. God must have blessed me with your beauty, girl. Looking so right from your head to your toe. Shaped like a Coke bottle with a smile of a queen. My queen to be, you my destiny. Got a body of a goddess with your beauty. I'm impressed and I'm never in distress. Come on over and be mine. Been searching for a man and now all the cats keep looking to mine. With a sexy walk and a sexy talk, she must be from a planet called the sexy world. I know I ain't tripping, better yet I'm thinking put a ring on the finger. We look good together. Take your place in my heart with your beauty. I'ma say that I'll never turn away. Who would think I'm in love?
So the way she smiles at me just really makes me weak. The way she speaks to me just really make me go so weak. Keep tearing in her eyebrows. All I kept on saying is wow. Your beauty shines and breeze at night. All I really want in my life. Oh yeah. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl. Sparkling eyes, killing tight. I found me a beautiful girl. Yeah, beautiful girl. What beautiful girl, yeah. Beautiful girl.
Damn. Money. You seen her? Hot Ice. Have you seen her? LP. Have you seen her? I'ma go over to Tux Bites. I know you've probably seen her. He has a lot of beautiful girls with him. Tux, it's DMB, baby. Look.
Beautiful.
I look for a while, but I can't seem to find a beautiful girl so I can make her mine. Time after time I've been searching for a while, but every girl I meet never seems worthwhile. What can I do? I pray to God for an answer. I feel pains in my heart like cancer, and when I find her, I'm gonna romance her. Lace of her presents and gifts, call me Santa Claus. I make a heartbeat pause. That's my girl, homeboy, not yours. The girl of my dreams, she's more than I ever thought. Show me ass and culture, I think I'm getting punked. She's what I really want, so I'ma go get her. Since I'm a go getter, you know I'm gon' get her. And I will give her the world, anything for my beautiful girl.
Psych. Ooh. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl. Sparkling eyes, killing tight.
that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.
Man of prestige. Ha! Now this guy win. Now you win. Now you win today. Now you win. Now you win. I agree. Man of prestige. Now man you be.
I'm sure some people will be jealous now the way I talk about Ola. But I have learned a lot from him. That's why I keep telling you to follow him. If you don't follow Man of Prestige, now you know.
All right, welcome back. What's going on? How's everybody doing? I hope you're doing well. I hope you had a good day off from the Prestige Hour. We took a day off. How are you doing? Welcome. Today's Wednesday 18th of October 2023. It's a beautiful day. All right, and I hope you're having a good day. Okay, and if you can hear me loud and clear, please hit one in the chat. Let me know that you can hear me loud and clear. Before we get going with the show, we have a few things to cover today. Hit a one in the chat if you can hear me loud and clear, please. Hit a one in the chat, and let's make sure we turn up on the likes. Hit the like. I think I'm missing about 3 right now. All right, but let me see here. Hold on, let me check it myself. All right. Yep. Audio is good. All right. Welcome back. This is Man of Prestige. My name is Ola. Coming to you live from my Empire Pro Studios. We do a lot of stuff here. Lots and lots of stuff here. Okay. And I'm glad to have you. But on this platform, we particularly focus on relationships. We focus on relationship from a power standpoint. We use trendy topics to extract relationship lessons from a self-power, social, how to seduction, attraction, and emotional intelligence standpoint. That's what we use, okay? And you can get a free book and you can attend a masterclass for free at loveandprestige.com. Okay, so if you're struggling in your relationship, in your marriage, those are good resources for you to take advantage of. Okay, you can get this book for free. All right, the digital copy of this book, and then we have this one you can get on the waiting list for number 1 red flag. That one is coming out on December 30. Okay, so yeah, be on the lookout for that. What else do we have? If you're looking for counseling, you can get a counseling for just $99. Just $99. Okay. If you're looking for a counseling session, right there, okay, and you can also be a part of the behind the scenes here, okay. Shout out to all my sponsors. Shout out to Mo Fresh, Richie, Life with Natu, Adesua, Film Girl, Tima, Show Mama, Gorex Corner, D Love. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for everything you do, okay. And yes, today I'm looking for the sponsor of this show today. So feel free to use the $ inside of the rectangular box and donate. Brother Patrick, good to see you, sir. Welcome, sir. All right, so what are we talking about today? It's a couple of stories out there that I want to make sure that we cover. All right, and I'm actually going to go ahead and start sharing my screen right now and get to it so we can be on time, so that we can finish on time. Okay, but a lot is going on. Of course, we're going to talk about the dating stuff, dating chronicles. We're going to talk about Kanye West. Okay, so on today's show, we're going to, let me give you a quick recap before we get started. Of course, we're going to talk about Tay Diggs. Of course, we're going to talk about Tay Diggs. You guys know who Tay Diggs is? We're going to talk about that. You know. Olayemi Akombi said, can you get the book? Yes, you can get the actual book too. Just go through the same link. You can see it on the top, loveandprestige.com. All right. Welcome, D-Love. Welcome. So today we're talking about Tay Diggs. We're going to talk about Jada and Will again. We're going to talk about the Banj and Dotun again. Some update. We're going to talk about Mohbad. We're going to talk about Mohbad today. And we're going to talk about Ginny Mai. Wow. Okay, some updates there. Yabo Ojo, of course, Mohbad story. We're going to talk about that, you know, and then we're going to talk about Kanye West. All right. So, with that being said, do me a favor, hit that like button, share, subscribe. Let's ping everyone else into the room. Hit that like button, share, subscribe. And with that being said, I will be right back. So let's do the Dotun first. Let's do some updates on Dotun first. I like doing the update, especially when there's a lesson, especially if these people are proving me right all the time. Even when they prove me wrong, I like to bring it up. Okay, but in this case, it's a particular situation of proving me right. I'm not predicting anything. I'm not a woli or anything like that. It's just some patterns here with regards to human experience. Okay, so sadly most people don't pay attention to it, but you know, I'm here to call your attention to it. Okay. Oh yeah, we're not talking about Kanye, right? Not yet. We're going to talk about Dotun and the Banj first, and there's some updates here. I'm going to go ahead and read that to you. Let's see. You see the title here. I think this is Linda AKG on a blog, right? Yep, Linda AKG blog, right? It says custody battle. Abuja court restrains OAP Dotun from defaming singer The Band. Orders police to investigate criminal. That's not the first thing that I saw, actually. I'll show you the first thing I saw. Let's see here. The first thing that I saw was him still trying to be slick and stuff like that, you know. And, you know, in this kind of case, people might even say things like, oh, yeah, right. Like, you know what? Oppression, you know, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes it's oppression. In this case, it's not oppression, you know. Somebody is sitting in their own house and somebody's calling them out for something that, at least on paper, has nothing to do with him. Okay? For something that has nothing to do with him, at least on paper. So, you know, this is not justice for no. This is family matters, particularly his own personal family, which the band is not a part of. Okay, Chinye Alpha, welcome. All right, so let's get through it. All right, so this thing says Justice Emmanuel Iyano of a Chief District Court of the Federal Capital Territory of Wuse, that's what they call it, right? Wuse Zone 2, Abuja, has restrained on-air personality Kayode Oladotun due to the tune. Right. So while we're talking about this guy a few days ago came out and started dragging his ex-wife and his brother-in-law, who is D'banj. D'banj is a superstar in all of his rights. D'banj is a pioneer when it comes to Afrobeats in terms of international level, and started just dragging them, you know, claiming that they won't allow him to see his kids. Now, we all agree that it's terrible. You need to, like, please do not weaponize the kids, okay? But my job here, which most platforms don't do, almost all platforms, if not all, my job is to remind you that when you end up in the poto of divorce and child custody battles, all is fair. It's war. There's no such thing as fighting fair if you have it, it's because you've done the work. It's because you've actually done a particular level of work that involves lots of patience. It's a process, humility, right? You've been humbled, right? So there's no, like, if somebody just woke up one day and say, I'm just going to be nice. Well, if you're being nice, the other person's probably not going to be nice, because maybe you're being nice because you're the one who dished the breakfast. The other person might have resentment because you pulled the rug from under them. All right. So let me continue the story. So the judge, basically, there's a restraining order, basically. Justice Emmanuel Iyano basically has restrained on OAP, on-air personality Kayode Oladotun from posting defamatory posts against singer Oladapo Oyebanjo, aka D'banj, on social media, on any other platform. Punch reports that the court also ordered the Deputy Inspector of Police, as the DIP, Force Intelligence Bureau, to investigate a criminal complaint. So there's a criminal complaint brought by D'banj against Dotun within 2 weeks and report back to court. All right. The court gave the injunction on Wednesday, October 18, 2023, in the case with motion number MN 218-2023. D'banj, through one of his lawyers, Tohib Lawal, through one of his lawyers. When you understand power, you try not to use your mouth, okay? Don't use your mouth. Don't use your hands, okay? Understand the system, okay? Use the system. And by the way, there's no perfect system in the world. Welcome to the real world. There's no such thing as a perfect system, a perfect marriage, a perfect relationship. They don't exist. If it looks like it, somebody is doing the work, and you're probably the one that's not doing the work, okay? All right, let's continue here. Tohib Lawal from an Abuja-based law firm, Law Corridor, had filed an application at the court for an injunction restraining Dotun from making alleged malicious and defamatory posts against him on social media. Right? In granting the application, which has D'banj as the complainant, and Dotun as the respondent, Iyano granted an order restraining the defendant Dotun either by himself, servant, that means all the supporters online too, okay, servants, privies, cohorts, representatives, or any person deriving authority from him, right? All those people that were posting and they were saying support and their celebrities, all of them will hush now, right? All of them will go somewhere and go and sit down somewhere right now for the good of Dotun, for the betterment of Dotun himself, because he will self-destruct.
Let the poor breathe.
No, you don't get to run out into the streets and just, no, you don't. It's not. That's not how it works, right? If you do, then actually you can, but you know, this is what it comes down to at some point. Anyway, court and injunction, blah, 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 blah. I'm finding where I'm at. Okay. Cohorts, representatives, all those people need to go and sit down somewhere now. Intimidating. Okay, so they derive, anybody that's deriving authority from him are restrained, right? From him for further making any malicious, intimidating, or defamatory post directing at the complainant, D'banj, on any social media platform, either X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, or news media, pending the hearing and determination of the substantive case. So there's a criminal investigation against him, okay? Somehow we didn't know about that, but anyway. Also, the court ordered Deputy Inspector of Police, Force Intelligence Bureau, to investigate a criminal complaint brought by D'banj against Dotun within 2 weeks and report back to court. What I saw over the past few days on social media, even though it's social media, it just looked too much like jungle justice. Okay, we have people tagging Anti-Joker and tagging government to help him get through his case faster. Like, yeah, but you know, Nigeria happened to you. Yeah, I know that happens to a lot of people, but still, you know, if you live in that society, you have to wait for the process. Okay, and if you're going to even use power or forceful power or connection or anything like that, isn't it better to do that in silence? Like, come on now, let's yara and brain now. It's better to do that in silence. Yeah. So anyway, somebody said, I love as the bunch no talk and take it legal way. Now the bunch you they fight instead of your wife. The bunch has no business. I'm looking at the comments now. The bunch has no business to do with this. Dotun should take his fight to the right person, not the bunch. I guess he's trying to get attention, right? Like I said, what he's going through, like not being allowed to see your kids, that will take a toll on a man. I've said that always. But still, men in general need to understand they can't afford to make certain moves. You can't just run around etasketa crazy. You have to calm down, have support system around you so you can stay calm, because what you have in front of you is an uphill battle. It's going to take patience. There's no way around it. It's either you have the patience now or you have it later after you've created damages. You choose one, right? Patience and your negotiation skills, okay? Your negotiation skills does not negate the fact that you might encounter obstacles. Very tough obstacles, of course. Easier said than done. Hold on 1 second. All right. Before I continue, because there's Dotun had something to say. Dotun said something. He had to say something. You know, it's a coconut head is a bastard. Not the coconut head. The act, the urge to be a coconut head is a bastard, right? Sometimes you just have to have sometimes you just have to tell coconut heads, okay, you can have the last word. Because if they don't have the last word, they will not rest. They can't rest, right? But like I said, anyway, he said, you know, the last statement he made was, this is the last statement he made after that. In response to all of this, he said, if you all obeyed orders too, we won't be here. Yeah. If they don't obey orders, there's still a process to that. And yes, the process is difficult and frustrating, but it's still your best bet. Okay? It's still, for the most part, there's some situations where it's beyond you and you have to shout out. Don't get me wrong. But that's usually not the case. Because if that was the case, we'll be in a war zone, like as I always say, right? You'll be in a war zone if every time you just have to shout out and start making noise and defaming people and just calling out their names. That is a war zone. So if you're not in that position, then what you're required of is process, patience, walk through the process, and be aware, be self-aware that yes, it's tough, it's frustrating, it's supposed to be. And in some parts of the world, it's more frustrating than other parts of the world. In Nigeria, yes, it's probably 10,000 times more frustrating. But I'm guessing you also benefit, because if you're an OAP, well-known OAP for the last 15 to 20 years, there's a good chance you're benefiting from the fact that they make it tough for an average person like that too. So you have to kind of like eat that, right? Yeah. But you follow due process. And if you have to use power, force, or anything like that, like connection, like I said, learn how to do that in silence. Because if you can't do it in silence, it's still a testament to the fact that you lack patience. What does this have to do with who is guilty, who's at fault? We don't know who's guilty or at fault. What we know is that it's wrong to weaponize kids against a person. But when that happens to you, how you respond is the major part of the conversation. That's the part that everybody else is not talking about. When crisis happens to you, how do you respond is the major part of the conversation, right? Everything before that, people saying you're right, you're wrong, that's cruise. They don't care. They don't know what's right or wrong. They don't care like that. Okay. So he goes, if I have kept quiet because you asked for mediation, I know and I was so sure you know very well what I was saying and I wasn't wrong, but yet again the power game. Dotun, welcome to the real world. You're right, but you're right. It's the power.
Well, you're right.
Welcome to the real world. This is how it works in the real world, right? Those people you are employing, the ones that are cruising, some of them that are using your matter for cruise to support you on social media, some of them have not eaten today, right? You know, everybody's problem is out there, right? So, I'm just saying. He says, I wasn't wrong, but yet again, the power game is not about right or wrong, bro. You will learn. It's never about right and wrong. I have still not seen my kids. For me, that's the goal. All these one, no consign me. Focused. You should have said that. We were hoping that you did that 1 week ago, all right? He goes, don't worry. You and I know why you don't want me to speak, because you need that bread, Abby. Who doesn't need bread? If you start dragging his name and you start losing work, of course. And guess what? He didn't run to the internet to start yelling at you too, right? He used the system to say, oh, shh, not just you, but everybody, the cohorts, all the people that are supporting what they don't know, right? He's like, shh, right? I bet they'll be quiet now. He says, over my dead body, just give me my keys and let me live my life in peace. I haven't seen the band's name yet. He's not mentioning the band's name again. Right? Right? Maybe he will. If we all obey the simple court order, we won't be here. Let's all do the right thing. The problem with when people say let's do the right thing is that it's just their own perception of what the right thing is. Right? It's their own understanding of what the right thing is. Right? That's the problem. It's what you're doing, I consider it to be wrong. You think you're doing the right thing, right? But you think you're doing the right thing because your brain can only comprehend that as the right thing. Because you haven't seen your kids for over a year. So everything else in the world, right, should just be silent. All the other variables and factors should just be silent. I'm going to do the right thing. Let's do the right thing. What do you mean by the right thing? That's the question. Right? What do you mean by the right thing? So he said, let's all do the right thing and say our goodbyes. That's cap. Okay? That's the mother of your kids. There's no goodbye anytime soon.
Stop the cap.
You're going to have to learn how to have a relationship with this woman. Yes, it's frustrating. Yes, it's difficult. Right? You're going to have to learn something beyond just operating out of your feelings. You're going to have to learn that. She's going to have to learn that too. If she doesn't learn that too, you still see Shege. If she doesn't find a way to learn how to have an amicable relationship with you because of those two kids, both of you will show each other Shege. That's just how life works. I'm sorry. Yeah, I know. No, why can't people just like, because people are people. Emotions not be your mate. Right? So you need to learn how to negotiate. It's either you learn that or you collect shege from the people that you love the most, or people connected to the people you love the most. Anyway, it says, you won't bully me. Police station, a human being, they go there. Bring it on. Thank you and God bless. He did not mention the man's name. Mission accomplished. Right? You want to be able to mention the band's name? Then be ready to go to court. Right? Just be ready to go to court. It's as simple as that. It's simple, but it's not easy. Let me just say that. It's simple, but that's not the same thing as easy. So let's just be clear on that. All right. Let me come to the chat really quickly because you guys are, it's like you guys been talking. Let's see. I practically say prophetess and prophet Lola and Lola. No, it's just stuff we see. It's in front of us. We just don't pay attention. It's nothing. There's nothing special here, you know. Hey D, good to see you, D. Welcome, D. One of his lawyers, gang. Yep, it's the bunch. The bunch has connections at least, even if he's broke. It's the bunch, right? And being a debanch is better than money. Pay attention to what I just said, right? Only if debanch knows this too, right? I hope he knows. Being a debanch is actually better than money. Yep. Okay. No, make them talk now. Chinye, Maya says the irony of debanch firing someone for criminal prosecution, harassing people using their connection to power. It is what it is. Welcome to the real world.
He shock you.
Welcome to the real world, right? And by the way, Marriott, you're right.
You're right.
Chia says he moves mad like a little boy. Let's keep talking like a senseless little boy. I guess that will make him feel good. Now, listen, there are systems. Maybe the systems could even be so bad that the branch couldn't use it. If he lives in that system and is part of the elite in that system, he has to eat that and find a better way than moving mad in the streets. It just doesn't work for anybody. That's the main point here. It doesn't work. You have to calm down, know the cards you are dealt, and then at some point you have to play the game. If you play the game you don't know how to play, you will collect. It's very simple. Okay? It has nothing to do with right and wrong. Okay? There's no system that's perfect in the world. It doesn't exist. I'm sorry. Like Tawo told him, this issue has nothing to do with the Banj, but make him no put the Banj name out his mouth and he will see Shege Banza. You know. Maria said, it doesn't shock me. It's why I don't live in that place. See, exactly. Once you move, right, then you operate within that context. You know how some of us enter Murtala Muhammad, right? MMA airport in Lagos. They were like, what the F is that? Oh no, we don't do this in Yankee. Look at this one. You go do all right. You don't enter heat. Well, last time I was heat in that airport. I think they said it's better now. But you don't enter heat. You have to pay attention. This is where you switch that accent back instantly, and you better hide that accent if it's real. Okay, before they snatch your earrings. But yeah, when you live in any system, which there's no system that's perfect, some are better than the other. You just need to kind of pay attention. But there's none of this system where you get to run out into the streets and act anyhow. It just doesn't exist. Okay, that's all we're saying. You know. But yeah, let's we have a couple more story to cover. Let me see which one is the next one here. Let me see. Anyway, if you're just coming in, do me a favor, and hit the like button as you're coming in. Hit the like button, show some love. All right. All right, good. All right, let's move on to the next one. I'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Hit that like button as you're coming in. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. How many people know who Taye Diggs is? Taye Diggs. I call him Taye Diggs. Am I capping? I'm capping, right? When I say Taye Diggs, right? Taye Diggs. How many of you thought this was Taye Diggs at one point in time? Stop the cap. You know that was one of you, right?
Stop the cap.
You thought it was Taye Diggs. Taye Diggs. I think it's probably Taye. I don't know. But anyway, Taye Diggs. We're talking about Taye Diggs today, not Taye Diggs.
You doing what?
So Tay Diggs, honestly, I didn't really pay attention. Tay Diggs is an actor. I think Tay Diggs is an actor from Stella Got Her Groove Back. I think that's the first time I encountered his skills. Love and Basketball. Not Love and Basketball. What's the other name? It's not Love and Basketball. It's another. It's another movie about basketball, but that's not the name. That's a show. That's a reality TV show. I'm trying to think. What is the name of that? Some of you remember. What's the name of that movie? What's the name of that movie? What's the name of that movie where he was playing basketball with the young lady who is now a young lady? But Tay Diggs was in the other movie that made people cry. Part 1, Part 2, Best Man. Tay Diggs was a star in Best Man. The Best Man, yes. And even the Best Man after the fact, right? Yeah, in recent times, he was seeing Omarion's ex, April, right? But he was married to this lady right here. And we're talking about interracial marriages now. And that's what we're going to talk about. Let me see here. Not Brown Sugar. It wasn't Brown Sugar, but was it Brown Sugar? It wasn't Brown Sugar, but I'm not sure if it was Brown Sugar. Was it Brown Sugar? No, it's something that has to do with basketball. Oh, Tay Diggs. Okay, I could easily just Google that. Like, duh. Right. Let me see here. Tay Diggs. Yeah, I don't think it was Brown Sugar. Was it Brown Sugar? It might be Brown Sugar, actually. I don't remember now. But I think he has more popular recent work. I haven't really paid attention to him like that in years. Since more like, okay, so he was in Our Stella Got Her Groove Back. He was in The Wood. Definitely with The Wood. The Best Man. I think it was Brown Sugar. Yeah, you're right. It was Brown Sugar. It's in a few, so it's a lot of movies. Wow. Our Family Wedding. Rent, Between Us, The Best Man Holiday, which was that movie got me shook a little bit. But I won't tell you that I cried. How about that? More recently, I think it was in River Runs Red. All right, so yeah, that's Tay Diggs, right? So there's this audio. Reason why I'm bringing him up is Love and Basketball. No, not Love and Basketball. I think it was Brown Sugar. Love and Basketball is a reality TV show. But Brown Sugar was about, they used basketball a lot. I think both of them were playing basketball or something like that. They fell in love with hip hop. The first time I fell in love with, I remember some kind of narrative around that, But, black movie type of thing, So, no, Tay Diggs particularly. I know Omar Epps, not Omar Epps. Nia Long, but I forgot the name. Yeah. It wasn't. Yeah, The Best Man was Nia Long, right? Wait. Yeah, you called him Tai. Talk about Yoruba lies. But anyway, let's get back to this. So the reason why I'm bringing him up is because there's something. The ex-wife, is saying something about interracial. I tell you all the time. If you're gonna cross dimensions, what I mean by dimensions is, if you're going to cross into the other race, if you're going to cross into another person's religion, some things that are fundamental about our identity as people, right? Religion, race, right? Even if you cross over to the next street, I'll give you guys examples before with regards to that. If you're crossing from one social class to another, right? I hope you know what you're doing. That's all I can say, okay? Because that's additional layers of poto that you would drag. You see, already relationship has its own, layers of trauma that will come because there's collaborative effort between two human beings, right? There will be friction. So when you add on these extra dimensions too, right, it just makes things really that much worse. And there's nothing wrong. You can still do it. You just need to be aware, right? You as a black woman, you can cross over to marry a white woman, a Chinese woman, or go and marry somebody in the Muslim world if you're a Christian. You can do those. There are people that have done it successfully. But the reality is that it will present additional layers of issues you have to deal with. And it's not stuff you can try to talk about it in the beginning, but you don't even know what you're talking about. You can't comprehend it until you're inside of it. Right? So, but if you are aware that it will create issues, at least you're kind of prepared that when that time comes, you need to seek help, seek support, seek counsel, and things like that, right? It's doable. But apparently she's blaming, not blaming is a heavy word, but she's holding accountable the interracial thing. So I'm going to play this video, all right, of her talking, and then we can talk. Let me see here. Let me share this. There you go. This is on Shade Room. It says, Tay Diggs' ex-wife, actress Indina Menzo, speaks about how race affected their relationship. All right, let's hear it.
Diggs is who you're talking about when you're speaking of your ex, and you met doing Rent together.
Mm-hmm.
I remember in like high school there'd be, there's a thing called a showmance, and that's like, when you get a crush on your leading man, and or your leading lady,
showmance.
and
it's
you
not
have
supposed to last.
It's not supposed to last, and yet you had a showmance that turned into a marriage.
Yes,
in
and
which
a
you
child.
had a child, a beautiful boy, Walker,
and then a divorce.
But
16 years later.
yeah, the fact that both of you are
Wow,
actors,
16
and
years?
one is having, first of all, you both were incredibly successful, but one is having a surge of success. How did that affect
There's lots.
things?
It's very complicated. I mean, very supportive of each other always.
Of course.
So excited for him. The thing that came into play more, I would say, and he's talked about it too, is the interracial aspect of it. Because we were never, when you're in the theater, like, it's just not a thing. Like, we all love each other and sleep with each other and best friends with whoever wants to be, whatever sexual orientation.
Well, I love the
it
theater
doesn't-
community.
Yeah. But when you leave that cocoon, that bubble, and now in his case, he's people's 50 most beautiful
50 most
people,
beautiful.
or he's on the,
50
he
most
was on the
beautiful
cover
people,
of Essence and Ebony, and being interviewed by all of these Black journalists, and I think he had his own stuff to deal with that, and it seemed like there was disappointment in the community with him because he was married to a little white Jewish girl from some show that we don't even remember anymore. And so I took that on too, Anyway, that's stuff that we had to deal with. So it was less about being successful and more about just that kind of stuff,
And it's hard because, here you have two theater kids, and then all of a sudden you're like going to red carpets and Hollywood events, and
it's can we get a picture of him by himself?
Right, 100%.
Wow.
When Wicked happened, that was a huge moment for you, and then I think you were on the rise in a way that you hadn't been before in your career. But also, I wonder what was that like for Tay and you and your relationship?
He was relieved probably, and happy and proud of me, and he was always so supportive and probably relieved, so he didn't have to feel like he was overshadowing in some way or taking up too much space.
Tay Diggs is.
All right, so let's talk about that. Did you guys hear that? Let's talk about it. She said a lot. She said quite a bit. All right, this was them. Apparently they were married in 2003, divorced in 2014. 11 years. All right, 11 years. That's a long time. In this time and age, that's a long time. All right, so let me see here. This so she says, I'm going to read it out in my accent so you guys can hear maybe clearly. You guys you like my accent better, right? Yeah, I thought so. It's very complicated. Very supportive of each other always. Dotun, are you listening? Okay. Dotun and Taiwo, both of you, are you listening? Very supportive of each other always. Are so excited for him, right? The thing is that everybody's story is different, right? But sometimes it's the same story. Some people just have coconut head, okay? All right. So excited for him. The thing that came into play more, and he's talked about it too, is the interracial aspect of it, right? Menzo, 52. By the way, Tay Diggs is also 52. Wow. You know, I hope I look better than him at 52. I'm 9 years away from that point. Right? But he looks good for his age, right? He looks good. Let me address this really quickly. So, but MOP, why do African American men tend to date, marry, interracial the higher they go in society? It seems like a pattern. Yeah, I don't know the numbers, and I don't know, you know. But one thing I can tell you that this world that we live in, especially if you have your children outside of Nigeria, you will see more and more of that. And I think it's a natural order of things when the whole world is mixing up together and the world is becoming more brown. Okay, so I don't really expect any less of that happening. But I know what you mean. I know what you're trying to say. As in, like, the more money they get, they want white persons. Like, I don't have any number around that. And the only people that I push against are the passport bros. People that think that one color is better than the other, that women are different from, no, women are the same. You will collect. Okay? Those are the only one I push against. You know, the lames that want to run to the other side of town because they think it's better, as opposed to you just fall in love with the person, right? Yeah, those ones are the one I push against. But I think it's a global village, you know. You're gonna see more and more of that. So, you know, especially when it comes to romance, I like to bring it down to specifics, individual level. I don't like to speak at general levels. I think you guys kind of know that, right? Yeah. Hold up, Mr. Ola. Didn't the marriage because he was a serial cheater? It's not our fault. Her husband was a self-hater. Why didn't her white audience watch him? Wahala. I have no idea what you're talking about, Marriott. I didn't get to that part of the story yet. D-Love says, God, nobody cares about a black man dating outside his race. Every time I see an interracial couple, I get excited because it helps my kids see that there's more of them. Yeah. Mario says, my fiance is Oyinbo and we're preparing. That's awesome. You know, as long as it's not a self-hatred situation. There's some people that's literally what it is. Okay. And they don't write it on the forehead. All right. But some people, when they open their mouth, it's literally they start writing it on their forehead. When they open their mouth, you can just tell that there's something about this person. And then it kind of matches. I've seen those, you know. But usually on the internet. The ones I've seen in real life, there's something authentic going on. Okay? But the internet exposes you to a lot more, doesn't it? Right? Congrats to Marriott for that. Thank you. They always act like we care. We don't care. We don't care. She does not care. She does not.
Don't care. Don't care. Don't care. Still don't care. I don't care. I don't. I don't care.
Well, I'm really curious because it seems like a pattern that I do not see in other races. What? Yeah, usually when we say that, you're also, usually, I don't know about you, but usually you're also not exposed to other races like that, you know. Like, for example, when we say things like, oh, Yoruba people tend to do something, it's like, what do you mean Yoruba people? How many tribes have you been exposed to in the world? Right? So, just, you know, and it's natural that we generalize, but again, it's possible that what you've seen enough can make you feel like it's rampant. I think if it's rampant, it's natural course of thing. It's a global village. You're going to see more and more of that. Some people are ridiculous, like the Igbo American boy, her friend died. What came of that case self? She's probably going to get released. Speaking of power, but let's get back to this issue, right? Now, obviously, that boy had track record of running his mouth against his own people. So, again, there are some people like that, you know, and we know them, you know, and they can't hide it. If they tend to open their mouth and talk a lot, they can't hide it. You could just tell. All right, let's see here. All right. Tay Diggs turned his IR into his personality, which is why he got criticized. All right, so let me see here. Let me see if there's more to it. So she said it's very complicated. I mean, the thing that came into play more, and he's talked about it too, is the interracial aspect of it. Menzel52 said during the Tuesday, October 17 episode of JC blah 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 podcast, Jesse Tyler Ferguson Dinners on Me podcast, because when you're in the theater, it's not a thing. Like, we all love each other and sleep with each other and are best friends with whoever wants to be. She says. Let me see here. I'm trying to get to the. When you leave that cocoon, or now in this case, he's on the cover of Essence and Ebony and being interviewed by all these black journalists, and I think he had his own stuff to deal with that. And it seemed like there was disappointment in the community, that's black community, right? The black community. Let's see. Yeah. With him, because he was married to a white Jewish girl from some show we don't even remember, and so I took that on. That's stuff that we had to deal with. Yeah. So the point here is that it's not always that somebody is at fault. It's just a dynamic that you better be prepared for. You better prepare yourself for it, because it will come. And that issue will come from a blind spot. Okay. So, but when you are aware that something will show up later, it's still better than not being aware or being delusional or being naive. Like, no, people just don't want to know. You are people too. As a people, there's some things that it's not necessarily your fault to affect you. Okay, especially affect you more so negatively when you are naive about it, right? He was relieved probably when I got attention for Wicked and happy and proud of me. All right, so they support each other, but nonetheless, there are good people that ended up in divorce. Good people, interracial, ended up in divorce. From the sound of things, she has an opportunity now to drag him, for cheating. Maybe he cheated, he's a teacher. She has the opportunity to do that. Why is she not doing that? Why? Because she's a dummy? Why? Because we are wiser? Yeah, right. Anyway, we never make a wrong step because we are always thinking of Walker first. That's their baby, right? Their children. If you think about the children first, that's another leverage point you can use to learn how to behave, right? When we go on the red carpet together, sometimes I take him with me because it's nice to have someone with you and he looks great in suits. But sometimes he talks too much about me. Lobato. He brags about me to the point where he feels like a parent. Like, mom, enough. He's so proud. Okay, I think they're talking about their son at this point. But let me come to the chat. Okay, let me come to the chat. Hold on one second. But Patrick, I see your comment. What is IR? What do you guys mean by IR here? What do you mean? He turned his IR into his personality. What does that mean? Enlighten me, please. My sister, I married my Oyinbo ex 20 years ago. These people want to act like black women are jealous. Lobaton, interracial dating is not new. Neither is it the reason their marriage failed. Well, it's not. Okay, that's a good point. Thank you for saying that. Okay. Shout out to Tim Ross. I'm really loving Tim Ross. Okay. I'm loving Tim Ross. Interracial relationship. Duh. Turned his iteration into his personality, which is why he got criticized. Gotcha. Shout out to Tim Ross, right? There's a young man that stood up when he was on what's his name? Anthony O'Neill's show, right? And he said, I'm dealing with demons, right? That he has some demons he's dealing with and stuff like that, And typically, the religious people would jump at it and say, yeah, this is the difference between Tim Ross and what's the other name's guy? Tony Gaskin. This is the difference, okay? Some people only want to deal with the symptoms and shame the symptoms and drag the symptoms, right? But there's always something behind the symptoms, right? This is something we have to keep remembering because we're all like that to an extent, right? You have to remember that whatever it is we're talking about, there's something else behind it. Right? So if somebody has said, if somebody has made a statement that, well, interracial relationship was the interracial part of it was part of it. It's not the interracial itself. It's other things that happened that you can line up with the reality of that. There's the reality of interracial. If you cross from Muslim to go and marry Christian, you will deal with these issues. Okay, it's in the scriptures too. Okay. These are issues you will deal with. And again, I hope you know what you're doing, because you are swimming against the tide. And if you don't know what you're doing, you will drown. Not because, now you don't get it now, to D-Love's point, you don't get to blame the tide, the ocean tide. You don't get to blame it. It's just the reality, right? But there are ways you can leverage the tide in your favor. There are ways you can leverage the movement of the ocean trend in your favor, in the direction you want to go. And if you don't know what you're doing, you're probably going to drown. It's not about blaming the ocean trend, right? It's about understanding that that is a thing. Okay. All right. So I think there's some issues that we have to deal with. 3 of them. I always say pride, mismanaged expectations, and then lack of skills, right? Those things really shine when you have other forces against you too, right? Forces that you can't blame, environmental factors that you can't blame. But those things rise to the surface and can destroy you faster when you find yourself in certain positions. But you're right, you still need to have mismanaged pride, you still need to have mismanaged expectations and lack of skills. Ultimately, for a marriage to fail, at least one person needs to have that, right? Yeah. Let's see here. Ola, can you please drop the link? Want to say something about the entire? Yes, I'm going to drop it right now, sir. Absolutely. Let me see here. If you Google Tay Diggs and black women comments, you see that he just couldn't help himself. I think I've seen that comment before, right? And there's something I always say to my wife. I won't say it in public, okay? But I know what you guys are talking about. All right. Tim Ross with his freaky self. Yeah. It's as real as it comes. And he's been through the overly spiritual stuff. And I think that's why he's able to comprehend the reality of things better. Some people even told one young pastor, say, well, it's okay to be a young man. He's not saying you should go out there and para anyhow. He's just saying, when you're 40 and you're a young 23-year-old pastor, there's just some things you don't know. And it seems like you know it all because you've read the Bible back to back multiple times. So there's more to it, and it only comes from experience. And that he was trying to Yep. Let me see here. But Patrick, sir, I know you wanted to speak to this. How are you, sir?
You just make me laugh. You're a prophet.
I'm a prophet too.
I know.
I can't. I'm like Tim Ross, ahead of Tim Ross.
Implied.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Taye Diggs is my main man.
Oh, really?
So there's another tone in what that lady was saying.
Right, please enlighten me.
Taye Diggs, he's a star.
Yes.
And the guy must have cheated, so he's trying to throw the guy under the bus. So.
But he said we're supportive of each other.
I know.
That's what. See, again, selective honesty, right? Learning how to talk, social intelligence, right? See, we can pick it up, right? But
all this interracial something, she just the cap, you know what I mean?
No, the thing is that I do agree that there's probably some cap in there.
I agree. I sympathize with her. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But do you? Let me ask you this question, sir, before you continue. Yeah. Do you think the fact that there were interracial added extra sauce to whatever their disagreement and back and forth was?
It could, like we said initially.
Yeah, even after the fact.
That is another layer of issue.
It's another layer. It's not the main issue.
Genuine love. You know what I mean? They are not the first now, Ola.
They are not. They are, but even those that have done it successfully, they will tell you that there's some issues they had to run through.
Yes, we know. Even parent might even be objected to it.
Yes.
You know, as an adult, if you have made your decision, this is the person I love. They can't do anything about it.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with your community. You know what I mean? We know. Allah, you said it.
Yeah.
The community are going to raise a high bro against.
Yes, you better know what you're doing. I agree with you that if you love.
You might even have dated somebody in the community. The crush might still be there. They might just be saying, no, we won't let her in. But it's
right.
the guy.
Right.
That genuine love there, you people are going to withstand it.
Yes. It's not just like D-Love said. It's not the main. It's never really the main thing. It's just part of the environmental factors that will make things worse for you if you already have issues. When you had that on top of it, it cannot be easier. You know.
Yeah, but it might not even be the major something.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
If you're able to bypass that, having kids, stay for 10 years, you should be able to bypass that, Ola.
Bypass which one? The cheating, right?
Yeah, that must be, maybe there are other issues.
No, there will be other issues for sure. There will be other issues. It's just that those issues will be a lot more difficult to walk through when a person already feel insecure about the fact that there's interracial here. If your woman does not feel accepted by your family, right? The issues that would have been, let's say, 2x for you to walk through will now be 12x, just because she doesn't feel accepted by your family, by your race, by your people, your religion. She doesn't feel like a part. There's a little crack in the wall there that the devil can use to come into that situation, and that crack is that crack, you know. But you're right also that if it was strong enough, that shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, and this is Hollywood marriage now, online now, not
Hollywood marriage. I don't think they are that much different from us, except the attention.
Yeah, well, you know, the way they look at marriage is different. Your uncle go involved, family for Nigeria go involved. You know what I mean? No, these people they are on their own. They are grown adults and fight for divorce anytime over film excuses.
Let me see.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, so obviously, Hollywood relationships are different from regular people's relationship, right? It's different, right? It's different dynamics, right?
Okay, it's different dynamics.
Yes.
So in the
somebody,
Western world, Allah, let's be frank. Western world, the way they hold marriage,
right?
Especially if it's not faith-based, you know what I mean? They don't really care, you know. They, you know.
I want to agree with you, but I'm looking for some specifics because, like you said, some people have done it successfully, even in the Western world too, right?
I know. I'm talking about, you know, these celebrities. Let me just put the celebrities to it again.
Right, celebrities, yes.
The celebrity, and you know, these people that are educated. You know what I mean? If there's any simple issue, you know, by the time they go for counseling, and the counselor is saying that's the best bet, you guys just
go your separate ways.
Yes, they won't even want to give someone. Will not even want to give it a chance. Okay.
Yes, that is a variable. That's a factor. That's definitely a factor.
Allah, you know how you fought for your whole marriage. You know what I mean?
Right.
You are, even though you've been here forever, but you know, it's a combination of African, this thing about knowledge, about marriage, about family.
Let me ask you a question, sir. Are you attributing that I fought for my marriage to the fact that I'm African?
No, not really, but it plays a role. I mean, your background too. Your background played a role.
No, I don't agree, sir. I don't agree.
This program now you are doing is anchored on your past experience about marriage.
Yes, but I want to say that there are people like I said, there's multiple layers, multiple variables. One of them being Western world, right? But right? They just don't go to court and file divorce. So there's all kind of crazy stories. So there's auntie that goes right behind the street to go and sleep with another man.
We
in
know
the
that one
village.
there exists now. We know that.
There's all these stories, oh. They just not documented. They don't get coverage, sir.
I know.
We get. Do you agree that we get more coverage of everything here than over there?
I will not say that. I will not say that. Just because I'm the
media now.
social media something. Yeah.
No, the media is just that much powerful, right? So every time you hear somebody a Mohbad story, you need to understand that there are 10,000 more that will not get coverage in Nigeria.
Because there's no justice in Africa. No?
Yes, sir. So in the same token, there's no data too. There's no data. So people say there's a bunch of lame people that will run around the internet and say there's no divorce in Africa. Like, says who?
Polygamy is acceptable. You can marry as many.
Exactly. Like as soon as I have problem with my wife, I can just have a girlfriend on the side over there, sir. Right?
You can get such chicken anyhow.
If you go to the clubs in Lagos, it's full of married men everywhere. Right? They call them single married men. Some of them have their wives in Canada. Right? So there's too many variables for me to generalize in any capacity. It's just very hard for me.
I like this guy. I don't like, I don't know personally, but
Tay Diggs is a wandering. The stories of him is a wandering eye. He has wandering eyes. Particularly, again, that issue gets even bigger when you consider the fact that it's an interracial stuff. Interracial is not to be blamed for it. It's just that's especially if she feels insecure about it.
No, let me be vulnerable. Life not for Christ. If I wasn't born again, I would have done more than that. So let me just be vulnerable to you.
So it's Christ.
I will have done more than that.
Right.
At the time in my life, ladies just like me. They look at me as innocent, but they are happy. They just like me for who I am. I'm damn true to heart. I tell them the truth, but no, it's just fake. You know what I mean?
Right. So it's when you have there are some core, which the Bible talks even about, right? There's some core principles, but there's also positioning ourselves to win, sir. I believe that having faith, sourcing your unconditional love from God, I believe those things are positioning yourself to win.
Yeah, you're right. That's a kind of defense.
Yes. Yeah. It's like you have those things as guide around you, because as a human being, we have our issues. So imagine me now say, I imagine if I have regular unrealistic expectations like everybody else, right? And on top of that, I don't have God. Right? My issue is bigger than the person that still has God. The person that has God has a little fear. They're yielding to somebody, right? Beyond just themselves and their own understanding, right? So I believe that any of this can become your reality. Just be aware that if you cross any of these lines, do not be unequally yoked. Yeah? There's about 7 of them. I've done studies here about it before. If you cross those lines, there's nothing wrong with that. It's not that anything is wrong with that. Again, as always, this is not by wrong, but understand that if you're moving in a very naive way, if you don't understand that this is a real thing, if you feel like, well, that should, like the way you said, sir, this should be an issue. One partner can feel that way. The other partner might have insecurities around it, and all you need is at least one person to have insecurity around it.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, that's all you need, because once both of you have insecurities around it, at that point it's already over. But if one person have insecurity around it, then it's like a slow death. There's resentment over a period of time before they actually have enough courage to say, this is how I feel about your people. At Ebony Magazine, they're always telling me something funny about me, and on top of that, you're cheating on me with these people. So, but I don't know. Let me see. Hang out with me, because this is a big point apparently to people. Mario says, I think it was his issue with black women mocking his not so pretty wife. Added to it, insecurities. Right? The main issue was probably the wandering bowler. The wandering bowler will add insult to injury.
These children.
The interracial part definitely added a layer. It is not total cap. Yeah, I don't think it. Yeah, I think it's, that's not the person's fault. It's just a reality that there is interracial, right? And of course, the white girl, she's not in my opinion, she's not the best looking white girl out there. So she might have insecurities around that, especially if people start spelling that out in words on comments.
Right, you're right.
Yeah. So, see, who is from the career Coco here? Marriott, you? MOP, I promise you this is a cop out. Not once was race our issue in my marriage. My current man is white. Race has never been an issue. There's emotion that promotes the jealous black women. Yeah, that's specific. It's like, let me give you the example of what you just said. My wife is from a Muslim background, right? Between her and I, it has never been an issue, right? But when you bring in the parent, right? And by the way, they've never used their mouth to say it's an issue until one orolo dile torindo wesa. Say well, almost was that.
I understand.
Right? They don't say it out and say this has been an issue. It's just one little event over there. Like me, what do you mean? Like before you know, you're like, wait, you had this in your mind 8 years ago. It took me 8 years to discover what I'm talking about right now. It's in the book, right? So it's there. I wasn't privy to. I didn't know, but she is, because she speaks to her parents, right? But there's certain things she doesn't bring to me because she doesn't want me to feel some type of way, unless she finds herself in an emotional pot and she starts vomiting everything one day when it's already too late, right? So this is the scripture that I always quote around this for those that love the scripture is, you don't fight the flesh. You do not fight the flesh. It's not the tangibles. Your biggest enemy is you. That's number one, you. Secondly are the things you can't see. All right? And then last on that list, sir.
He said we wrestle not against the flesh, blood.
We wrestle not against the flesh. And last on that list is the devil. Whatever it is in your mind that you think the devil is, that human being that lives on the planet somewhere, that thing doesn't exist. It's actually usually you. Right? It's you. It's you. It's spirits, that demons that are dealing with you. It has to do with you for the most part. But that's, I don't want to get too religious with the comment, because how everybody interpret that is different from people to people, But the point is that your biggest enemy is your interpretation of these issues, and when it starts to show up, it will always show up from a blind spot, The main issue could be, you don't wash pata, you don't wash my pata, you don't wash you don't put the toothpaste back where it's supposed to be, you don't help me washing plates in kitchen. Those are all symptoms. Those are things you point fingers at when it's already too late. Did you notice she said black reporters? Yeah, yes, that's in. So maybe at the core, when you dig deeper into that statement, that phrase is insecurity, right?
Yeah.
That's insecurity. So again, you cannot blame the trend, the ocean trend. You can't blame all this symptom stuff. You have to dig in deeper. Why is this thing an issue for you? The question that Tim Ross asked the young man is like, why did porn become an issue? There's something else behind why you started spending your time on your vice. Right? Your vice is porn. Your vice is you go into the fridge in the middle of the night to go and eat cake. They don't like the example, but it's real. Right? Whatever it is that you are addicted to, that is destroying you slowly, maybe over a period of 1,000 years, but it's not good for you. Right? That thing that anytime you feel a little low, you just want to make you feel a little better, right? That vice, what is it about you that's created the time for that thing? Because it's always going to be around. So the issue is not the vice itself. The vice is always going to be there. You're always going to have access to it, right? So that's the point I'm trying to make there. I don't know if that hits home, Sha. Let's see. Yeah, I hope Brother Patrick, you wanted to say something else to that before I move forward, sir?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Do you guys get it? You get it?
You get it? If you don't get it, forget about it.
All right, let's keep it moving. I'll be back. talk about Jinemai really quickly. Jinemai and Yeezy, there's an update here, and I wanted to point this out because I wanted to point this out because this is a pattern. I don't know if you've noticed it before. All right, I don't know if you've noticed it, but I've seen this as a pattern, and I want to talk to my brothers about this one. Whenever this happens, don't fret. Okay, relax. Heaven is not going to fall out of the skies if this happens to you. Their own story is a little different because he filed for divorce, right? But then there's a story that came out that she's removed the guy's last name. Have you heard this before, sir? She's removed the. Have you seen this happen before? Women will just run to social media and start removing names when they have issues with their husband. Have you seen that before, sir? Oh wait, he dropped off. Are you there, sir? Unmute, just in case. Okay, he's muted now. Anyway, women tend to do this, okay? Tend to, all right? Shout out to D. Tend to do this, right? They run to social media, caught up in their feelings. I'm gonna remove my name, right? Remove his last name, and it's probably not even paying attention to, but you know, the social media monitoring spirits are paying attention. So let me play this video. I found this video funny. Let's see here.
Jeannie Mai removes Jenkins from her last name on IG.
What's wrong with y'all? I hate y'all.
I don't listen, yo.
What's wrong with y'all? That's serious. Jeannie Jenkins, okay.
Her and that's what I'm saying. I don't think I've ever. Why would you ever just become a Jeannie Jenkins anyway? Some names you don't need to pick up. You're Asian, and I don't think Jeannie Mai Jenkins should have been.
Somebody does a nigga exorcism. Get the Jenkins out of her.
Please get the Jenkins.
Yo, I hate y'all,
right,
man.
you were not supposed to put that on there. Like, what? Jeannie Jenkins.
Jeannie Mai Jenkins.
Girl,
You're
but
so stupid. Why you so stupid?
But I don't know, because I don't know. I didn't even know that she added that on there.
I didn't know either.
But you know,
lie to you.
this is following their divorce filing or whatever. You know, which shocked Jeannie. That's why she was like, I thought I was gonna be a Jenkins forever.
Shut up, man.
But she's not, and
That's stupid.
we are supporting her.
Jenkins got to be the top
and
3
him.
blackest last names ever.
That's
right?
why I said
Jenkins.
Jackson, Jenkins, and
I don't know.
Let me look this up.
And Jenkins again. I don't care, yo. I
Jackson,
cannot.
Jenkins, and what's the third one?
I don't know. Is Williams? Because Williams'
Brown.
son is white.
Brown.
Williams is still okay.
Brown's a good. Yeah,
But
Brown.
Jeannie-
Brown's
Jeannie-
all
Williams is
right.
one too. Williams is one.
Williams.
Williams, Johnson, Jenkins, Smith, Brown. Who else we say?
Johnson, yeah, Smith, Brown.
Oh my God! Yeah, Johnson, Jeannie Johnson,
Oh, some Washington too now.
Jeannie Mai.
Anyway, there's some, again, I agree, some names you don't need to pick up, you know, some names, no, DJ Envy was there laughing, of course he was laughing. The Popo is moving in on him, by the way. Yeah, they already picked up his partner today. But yes, Jenkins, see, there's some names it's not necessary to pick up. Like when I was getting married, I didn't expect my wife to change her name. I was like, I don't care. But she said she wanted to change it. You know, I was like, oh, cool. You know, but I come from that school of thought. I'm like Brother Patrick would say, I'm Americanized. I don't think it's necessary. You know, there's just some traditional things that, you know, I'm like, why? What's the point? You know, I respect it if you insist, you know, but I could just see that some things are not necessary, because the same thing is the same spirit that will make you run to the internet and be changing it all over the internet, and you know it's not going to be that simple to change it on your legal papers if you change it at all, because sometimes you haven't changed it, right? So you're doing all of this for people that will basically just laugh at it anyway. They laugh at the name. Jenkins does sound like the blackest name I've ever heard. It does. I'm trying to think of something else. I can't. You know, Jackson is not even that black. You know. Let me see here. Lati says, being in an intertribal marriage, every little bit difference counts. However, if the people in the marriage pays no attention, nothing else counts. Well, pay attention pay attention and pay no attention is a fine line between the two. If they are aware that it can cause trouble, is what they need to know, that it can cause trouble. They need to just be aware of that, and then once they know that, that's actually the defense they need. The naivety is what I don't want. People become naive, and one person already feel the way they feel, and the one person was like, that's not an issue. That's because you're talking about you. The other person, there are multiple different ways it can be an issue for them. You know, just the awareness. It's always just the awareness that this is a real thing, right? And you're not special. You're not a snowflake. There are patterns. We've seen them, right? So these black people are funny. Yeah, I feel so bad for Jeannie. They have a little girl. I thought they were trying to work things out. Listen, I don't know if they had anything solid. You know, who knows? But and when I mean solid, I mean friendship. You know, when I say solid, I'm not talking about love, because everybody's definition of love is different. I'm talking about just basic, I like you, you like me. When you like me and I like you, it doesn't mean you're completely protected. It becomes a lot more harder, like super hard for anything to come in between, right? You know? So I feel for them, you know. Friendship, lots of sex, manage your expectations, manage your pride. The fact that this guy went and filed for divorce, I don't know. There's something about him. I don't know enough about him. I wasn't really a fan. There's something about him that number 4 and 3 is definitely playing a major role here. And when 3 and 4 is playing a major role, if you don't have a strong one, the poto, right? It's not gonna work. And I want you to think in terms of your own interpretation of those 4 things, right? If you are struggling with 2 of this, you're a human being like the rest of us, right? It's hard to be a human being already. How much more trying to manage another person that you can't even trust them as a friend, right? What if you're having conversation around in-laws living with you and all those kind of stuff, right? Do you think at least one of all these parties involved, about at least 4 parties involved with a little one, 4.5 people, right? Do you think at least one of them is looking at that black guy? The relationship is now in the what? All you need is at least one person. And the one person doesn't really have to be the partners. It doesn't have to be. Right? So in this case, they call it, what do they call it? They call it difference in family value. Oh, that's code. I promise you that is code. That is code for other things, right? Irreconcilable, irretrievable, right? No chances of reconciliation, right? Very, very important to pay attention to that. DC, I think they should prioritize healing and therapy as individuals first. Facts. I agree 100%. Go on a self-reflection journey too, but that's going to take a minute because it's probably fresh right now. It's probably very raw, right? So it's not easy to go through what they're going through. It's not easy, you know. So when women do this a lot. I've seen it. Well, I removed my name. I changed my name. Why are you changing your husband's name again? Because I don't know. I just don't want it there. Emotions, right? But is it that easy to just pull the plug? No, it's not, you know. So gentlemen, if you're having issues with your wife and she went and changed the name, it happened to me when it did, okay. The difference between me was I was already doing personal work and I just pretended like I didn't see it. Number one, it's a non-issue. This is just Facebook. After a while, since I never said anything about it, she actually removed herself completely from Facebook because you're not gonna fix whatever is going on with removing your name from a profile, right? But this is what men would typically do. So you went and removed your name from social media? How dare you? And they overreact. Baba, if I were you, I was in brain. Your issues are deeper than somebody changing their name on social media. Okay? Your issues are deeper than that. And you're dealing with symptoms. Again, You're trying to fix symptoms, and it's not gonna work. Okay. So until this news became news now, what did Natu say? Natu Alpha. Natu say, I did not even know him until he married Ginny. Well, did you know his name was Jenkins until now? We didn't know, right? We didn't know. Ladies, a lot of people that, okay, you're changing the name, whatever you change the name, these people don't care. They don't care.
Don't care, don't care, don't care, still don't care. I don't care, I don't care.
Yeah, no, they don't care. The people that will see that, they don't care. So that doesn't mean you shouldn't change your name, but I probably would, like D said, your issues are deeper than that, and you should be aware of that. Especially that you get so angry and go and be changing names. How many times has Tema changed name on social media? Because every now and then you see some name attached and then they remove the name as some name. You're like, okay, I'm just saying. You see that with celebrities a lot. Why? Because people do it. People actually do that in real life. It's not just celebrities. At the very core, the behaviors are the same thing. The only difference, I was going to tell Brother Patrick earlier, is that there's more attention on them, so they might overreact a lot faster. They might have to deal with a lot more emotional turmoil because of all this attention. But it is what it is. All right. Brother Patrick, you want to say something to that? I don't think he knows that he's still here. All right. Let's just go ahead and move on to the next story. I'll be right back. All right, so let's talk about Will and Jada and Will, right? You know, obviously they broke the internet over the past few days, as we suspect it was gonna be. So she broke the internet. I haven't gotten the book yet. I will. I did promise I was gonna get the book, but let's see here. That's not it. Let's see. Share this instead. There you go. All right, so we're talking about Will and Jada. There's some updates, okay? We already talked about the updates. There's some unpopular. My opinion here was the unpopular opinion, right? And very, very aware of that. You guys are aware of that if you've seen some of the videos, right? Tima says to go back to your maiden name. Yeah, that's the process. It takes a process. It's not as simple as running to social media to change names. So, gentlemen, don't overreact to that. Just focus on the actual work you need to do if you want your family back, and don't overreact to that if you see that. Obviously, if you're filing paperwork in court, it's probably already too late. All right, so let's talk about the children had something to say. And the children allegedly, sources said that they know he has been going through a lot lately. They're talking about their father, Will, right? And this isn't helping. The sources are saying. Sources, okay? I doubt it, okay? And I'll tell you why I doubt it in a second. From all the recent headlines about their parents' secret separation, Trey Smith, Will's son from his previous marriage, reportedly shared the same sentiment. Okay. They said Will and Jaden Smith reportedly feel bad for their dad. Wish family matters remained private. They wish family matters remain private. I always advocate to keep your stuff private, because monitoring spirits have spirits and they have power. Okay. You might think you got this. They might push you to do what you don't want to do, such as slapping another man on the stage, even if you toasted your wife. Anyway, they wish some of their family's private matters remained private. The insider claimed, alleging that Will has been trying to stay busy by hanging out with his good friends and his kids. The source added He's trying not to let any outside noise impact him. That must be a lot of work, huh? Because this monitoring spirit will impact how you feel. Before you know it, you could just start to do shalaye after you don't slap somebody, right? So that is the thing. That's one of the reasons why I don't think anybody should act macho and pretend like the rest of the world does not have power or influence over them. The world has influence over your world around you, has influence over you. You have influence over them as well. But again, as usual, you need to be aware that the world, your environment has influence on you. Don't do any macho, I got this, all that kind of stuff. It just doesn't work out well. It never really works out well. Okay. All right. So, but this whole thing around their oversharing, they're sharing too much. They're sharing too much. They're sharing too much information about themselves. And I have the same sentiment. I just don't think the way we interpret that indicates the health of their relationship. I actually think their relationship is probably healthier than 99% of these relationships out here. Okay, why? What do you mean? Because of what they've been through, precisely. Right? They have context. They have context that many holier than thou people, right, don't have. Right? So there's a good chance that they're able to engage humility more than everybody else. When you haven't found yourself inside of enough poto, there's still a sense of pride that creeps into you. Unknowingly, it's not your fault. You don't really realize you're doing it, right? You just feel like, you start with things like, you'll never be me. Yeah, most people thought it was never going to be them, right? Most people. Like, most people have moral compass. Believe it or not, most people are not evil, right? So, yeah. D-Love says, MOP, I rewatched yesterday's show as I wanted to understand your point of view, and now I do. I'm still confused as I think their arrangement is what you have when love is out. Please educate me if I'm wrong. I think I just kind of explained it. When you get to a space in life, when you've seen what you're capable of as a human being in terms of your imperfections, right? Especially when you're a smart, intelligent person and you find yourself in positions that you're like, you never thought that would be you, right? Right? If you don't think it's cheating, it's probably not going to be cheating. It's going to be something else. But you thought it would never be you, right? When you find yourself, let's say, for example, you always knew how to make money. You made like stupid amount of money and then you go broke. And you've told yourself, you know what you're doing, you'll never go broke. Oh yeah, you get humbled, right? You will have humility. So what you will probably learn how to do is learn how to use the forces of nature in your favor. Okay? You learn how to use... Hold on 1 second. Oh, sorry about that. I knew something was singing. Right? You learn how to use force as opposed to leaning on your own understanding. Right? What the world is doing today is leaning on their own understanding. There's nothing wrong with being smart and intelligent, but you're better off. I always talk about intentionality. There's nothing wrong with being intentional, but make sure you add emotional intelligence to it, right? Most people that claim to be intentional, they're disconnected from emotional intelligence. They don't see emotions as the biggest variable in all of it, right? They just see 1 + 1 must equals to 2. If it's not equals to 2, they tell you are stupid. And the reality is that there's an X, there's an unknown, right? And see how I just said it? That's some of the gift that I have. I can say there's an X, like the unknown, things that you probably will never know for the rest of your life. There is that. For that reason, there's a certain level of humility that you must approach, right? That is a very difficult thing for us to do as human beings until you've gone through a certain level of experience, right? Usually very negative, right? You felt this as negative. Like she said, people are mad that her relationship is not perfect. She's mad too. She's like angry. She's just as angry, right? So the children are on the outside of that romantic relationship, which I do think they have romantic relationship. Like, what do you think? Talk about, we're doing life, we're learning, we've learned so much. How many people that you know that are in romance do that? Okay, they don't even know how to hold simple hands, right? Without saying, what is all this after 27 years, right? So it's just it's not an arrangement. I don't think they have an arrangement. I think they have something that people need to start paying attention to, and I think it's going to be very difficult because all they can see is August and Tupac, and I understand, right? But precisely because of August and Tupac, they are on this part of this, they're on this other side of romance that most people will probably not understand. Why? Because they zone in on the judgmental, anything that looks like you can judge. Because we all judge, right? So anything that looks like I can look at and say this is right, this is wrong, that's what we zone in on, right? As opposed to, all right, that one is there, this wrong, this is wrong, okay, but let's look at everything else here, right? And to get past that is very difficult, and that's what I understand. So I don't think it's more so an arrangement. I guess maybe you can call it an arrangement, but if it's arrangement to I've been on that side where you know that you're not really in control of anything, and if you call it arrangement, to just count on God. If you call it arrangement, to say, you know what, the forces, you don't fight flesh, you're fighting principalities, you're fighting all type of things that beyond you, right? And if you want to apply intelligence, make sure that's included as a variable. That's all I'm saying. There's nothing wrong with intelligence like IQ, right? But make sure you know there's always an X factor. The same reason why they stay in the lab, because there's always something that we can learn more about, just remaining a student, right? So I don't think the public is wrong at all. The public is basically a reflection of all of us. We see the judgmental aspect of things and we zone in on that, right? But for me, I see something else, and she's not going to do any more Shalaye beyond, and that's a smart thing. She's not going to do any more Shalaye beyond selling these books. She's going to sell these books, all right? And I've seen enough comments of people understanding it, right? Say, you know what? We're hypocrites. I think that's the message. Like, all of us are hypocrites to a large extent, okay? It's not that we mean to be hypocrites, but, we are, okay? And you have an urge right now to say, I'm not a hypocrite. Well, exactly. The point is that you feel like you're holier than thou, right? You're not different. We're all the same, okay? But that's the point. For you to feel like, you know what? No, there's no way that I don't see everything here. It's literally, you don't see everything. Especially these are people that we don't know all the way, right? So until you read the books, then maybe you can have an idea, right? But yes, so the children are on the outside of it, but there's a couple of videos here that I wanted to play. You came back, sir.
Yeah.
I was calling you earlier, but you didn't hear me.
I was there, but I was doing something else. I'm
Got
going
you.
for Bible study.
Got you. You're going for Bible study now?
Yeah.
Okay, no problem, sir. I know that's how you guys are. My parents, I can't call them at this time. They're either on a conference call, Bible study. I'm like, oh God. And then they try to call me at 8 a.m. in the morning. I say, I'm busy, I'm working. Thank you. All right, thank you, sir. We'll talk soon. All right, so let me play some of this video. So you're not wrong, D Love. You're not wrong at all. Okay. Tima says, I share your feelings. Now, this is all learning. Just remaining a student. It's not about knowing everything. It's about just remaining a student. Just anytime you see something that shakes you up or shakes your belief system up, just be a little bit more curious than being judgmental. The average human being will be judgmental. And that's what you've seen happen on the internet today. Not because they're wrong, because obviously there are some real events here, right, that happen. So, let's let me see. Tima says, hey, Ola, I'll have your book in my Amazon card, but it is showing that I can't get it yet. No, you can't. Are you talking about number one red flag? No, you can't get it yet. Definitely not. Not until December 30. I think you can pre-order the Kindle. That's about it for now. Okay, and we finished the audiobook last week. It's in editing right now, so it's coming. Let's see. All right, so there's a video here. I'm gonna play this video from Jada. Yeah, I think this video will give us some ideas. Yeah, I think so. Let's do it. Let's see. All right, there you go. There you go.
Jada, it's so interesting, the responses to your interviews, to this book. On one side, which is the side that I reside on, I can really feel that this is in service to your soul and in service to the souls of others.
That's right.
And that you want to use your story to, in your own words, show other people how they can recognize their own worth.
Yeah.
Then we have another side that's like, Jada, why are you emasculating your husband?
Again.
Why is this all this oversharing, etc., etc.? And the question that comes to mind for me is something only sacred if it's private? Can something remain sacred when it is shared publicly? And also, what is the definition of oversharing for you?
So, when we're talking about our community, it's a really deep subject, right? Especially when we're talking about our Black women. I'm talking about my sisters and I'm talking about myself. It's a very complicated thing because we have been taught to take care of everyone else first, right? And a lot of times it's one or the other, right? It's like oftentimes we don't have permission to share our stories because our stories are connected to other people, right? And so we are taught that we're to protect everyone else by all means necessary, right? And so it gets complicated because there's so many complicated dynamics within the Black community as far as Black people, and how we relate to each other and what we have to deal with in the world, right? And so sometimes it's like, just be quiet so that, you're not supposed to be telling your business, putting your dirty laundry out there. And it's like, but what we have to understand as a community is that when we don't share and we don't share what we are learning on our journey, then we stay stuck. Right? And so we have to be able to just step outside of these boxes, step outside of these ideas of what we believe keep us safe, because these are the ideas that keep us stuck, right? And check it. I know it's really hard. I was pissed too when I realized that my relationship would never be perfect.
Yeah.
I was mad as hell.
Yeah.
I was mad. So much so I was like, bunk it. I'm out of here. Right? So I get it. So I want to acknowledge that first. It's hard when you really want to hold on to an idea. It's hard when you want to hold on to a fantasy. But at some point we got to get to real life. Right? And what I am finding in this journey with Will is a deeper, more authentic kind of love and relating than that picture perfect, idealistic, unrealistic way of relating, right? And I feel like when we try to hold on to these ideas, then we never get an opportunity to see each other. None of us are perfect, just like Sway said. I'm not perfect. Will's not perfect. Our relationship's not perfect. But there is some beauty and perfection in that imperfection.
All right, so what are your thoughts about that, ladies and gentlemen in the chat? What are your thoughts about that? If you think cap, put a 1.
Stop the cap.
If you think 2, there's some points to that, put 2 in the chat. Okay. If you think I don't care, if you say I don't care, somebody apparently is watching on Facebook somewhere. It's always surprising when I see somebody watching on Facebook. The algorithms don't show me love. They don't show us love on Facebook. So share it if you're watching on Facebook, you know. Share if you're watching on Facebook, all right? If you say, I don't care, I don't care.
Don't care. Don't care. Don't.
Put a 3 in the chat. 1, you say cap. Stop the cap.
Stop the cap.
I'm always laughing. I'm laughing because I'm thinking about a million things at the same time with regards to this concept, right? If you think 2, there's some points there. If you think 3, I don't care. Let me know. Let me see what you guys are saying. Roro say 3, I don't care. Allowed to say 2 or 3. Some points, but I don't care. Roro say, let the poor. Jesus Christ.
Let be poor. Breathe.
Me too. But trendy topics. Lessons. 2, some points. D-Law says 1 and 2. 1 and 2 is not a cap. And there's a point to it. I just don't want this to be another example of struggle love that black women. That's a good point. I've wanted to talk to that actually. Because, you know, these things are very dangerous. It's a fine line, right? There's a part of it that start to feel like you're encouraging people to move mad towards a toxic relationship. That is a good point. That's a good point. I want to talk about that actually. Okay. It kept crossing my mind when we're done with the show because I'm thinking about multiple different angles to the stories, right? The part that I lean to the most is that this is what you're looking for. Somebody that have chosen to do the work with you, right? We talked about that before, right? But I forgot to tell you a very necessary ingredient. Okay? I forgot to tell you a very necessary ingredient, right? You have to be in a place emotionally where you don't feel toxin, where you don't feel like it's toxic. Don't let anybody manipulate you. Don't let anybody use Jada's story to manipulate you to stay in a situation where you feel like you are dying by the minute. Okay? And doesn't it doesn't have to be something physical when I say dying by the minute, right? You need to, at some core, I think I said it, yeah, there has to be some level of friendship. You guys like each other. It's just when it comes to this romantic thing, it gets complicated because of unrealistic expectations. I think where they're coming from is unrealistic expectations and how it can drown even when people are best of friends. And I think what sustained them over time is the friendship. Okay? Yes, friendship can sustain you through 7 years of separation. Yes, it can. Okay? Yes, to the extent that you might go out there and try something else from a romantic and it will burn you. Do you think August burnt her? Yes, that thing burnt her image for life. Okay? That's always going to be a visible scar. There's some scars you have on your body that is not visible. Maybe it's under here or something like that, but you know it's a scar, it's there, right? But the last place where you want the scar is right here on your face. That's not where you want the scar. And that's what almost August represents. And God forbid you end up with a scar on your face, will you not live your life? That's the question I want you to ask yourself. Right? It's still a scar, it's healed. It's healed, but it's right there on your face. At some point, you will learn to live with it. Okay? You learn to live with it. Or go through some kind of plastic surgery to make the most out of it, right? If you can afford it, right? And I feel like they have enough in their emotional tank that they could afford. All right? And like they keep saying, don't try this at home. It's not for everyone because everyone's story is different. Okay? So that's a good point. Thank you for reminding me that so I can spell it out. There's no encouraging anybody to stay in struggle where you feel like other people are manipulating you to stay in it. If you feel like other people are manipulating you to stay in it, then you should back off because you're probably going to reflect that low self-esteem. Okay? But if you feel like, no, this is something I value, though I want to fight for it, don't let anybody manipulate you into backing out too soon unless we're talking about some form of abuse. right? Some situation you're saying, no, I think there's something here. This is my friend. We're going to fight for it. And there's a friend next to you that keeps saying, let go. It will never work. No, you don't have to listen to such friends either. So it depends. It depends, right? And that's one of the biggest words that everybody is afraid of. Depends. They're afraid of depends. So Latu says, let me say, first of all, D-Love, okay, so we addressed that. Thank you for that, D-Love. Latu says there are some points there, but don't really care. All right. But the lessons, you care about the lessons, right? There are two things in what she's saying, right? There are two things, and it's kind of skipped me right now because I went through the D-Love rabbit hole there. Pause. All right. No to struggle love. You know me. I don't support struggle love either. I don't think romantic relationships are to be endured. Okay. But I do think that anything that's worthwhile in life will shake you up. That's just life. Okay. So some people call that struggle love. That's not struggle love. That's just life. Okay. It's a fine line. No, let's not encourage this. However, I like the partnership aspect of it. If two people are on the same page, they're on the same page, they have the friendship, right? You notice that when I was talking earlier, I didn't really make sex a thing. Sex is more like a symptom in those situations. If everything else is not right, people, at least one person will not want to have sex with you, right? So, but I put it on there because if you can remember that, it goes a long way. Like, you know, not to say Jada be capping. It's word salad. I think it's the word salad that you guys don't like. But I still think you guys are capping. It's the judgmental thing coming out of you. Okay? It's the scar on our face. August and Tupac. Right? The Tupac stuff is not even really a scar. I just think it's because when you had the August thing to it, it's just annoying. But this is a childhood friend. And I think when you bring August, the emasculation thing into it, then this Tupac Shakur thing becomes like much larger than what it is. They were childhood friends. Okay. In fact, there's a blog in Nigeria yesterday. I just put that laughing emoji. There's a blog in Nigeria that convinced everybody that, oh, people you never knew dated Jada and Tupac. I was like, all right. Now, do I know if they ever dated? I don't know. But I know that there's nowhere she's ever said that on public. So it's just funny to see it. It is what it is, right? So any shalaye beyond selling books is not going to help her. It only make things worse. So once they finish promoting this book, they need to go back inside. So that's the point I'm trying to make, which is, can you keep some things? Can it still be sacred when it's all out in public? They have a public life. So things will be in public, especially if a young man who fell in love with the older woman is starting to run his mouth. Unfortunately, it becomes public, right? Now, they're selling books. So are they really making it public, or they're selling books? That's you know. So that's something to think about. Are they, you know, remember I told you yesterday that Will Smith is behind all of this promotion. I don't even think the children know enough, right? They're just talking about the headlines. That's even if the story is true. But I also know that the headlines can absolutely destroy your family, because if people are taking the narrative and running with it, it can come back and haunt you, right? So that needs to be managed at a public relations standpoint. But that's why there is public relations, right? She seems to me like a walking contradiction. My confusion hasn't gone down all the way yet, right? Maybe if Will come and tell you guys how it feels, maybe you guys will feel better. Maybe Will Smith can come and tell us that it's not emasculated, right? Oh yeah, by the way, Will did make a statement. I'm gonna play that. That woman sounds like she's been battling negative emotions for decades. That's a fact, and she admitted to that. She will be on forever healing journey to stay alive. That's why everything is deep. Yeah. That's why there's a lot of word salad, right? They will do red table talk after to say gotcha. You know, there's one of the statements that came out yesterday is that they're planning to write a book together. Will and Jada are planning to write a book together. And guess who's going to cover that when that comes out? Guess. Anyway, let's see how Will feels about all of this, right? Because I don't know, you know. The lessons here is very simple. If you have something solid with a person and you've chosen to do life with them and fight the forces of evil with them, Don't let anybody tell you otherwise, regardless of what it looks like on the surface. And also, in that same token, make sure you're not engaged in struggle love. If one partner is not on that same page with you, you need to let them go. I think that should be very simple, right? Regardless of what the scars are, right? Anyway, let's see. Somebody said August. You want a statement from August too? Do you want a statement from August? Anybody want a statement from August? I don't think you want that, right? Anyway, let me see here. Let's see what Will has to say about all of this. You guys want to know what Will has to say? How to say? You heard his voice already, right? Let's see what Will has to say about this. Let's do it. Official statement. Anybody heard this so far? No? Anybody in the chat already heard this statement yet? Before I play it. Did you guys see this? Or no? Anyone has seen this yet? Nobody's seen this yet? So you guys just wait for me to bring it to you, huh? You haven't seen it? Nope. If you've seen it, say 1. If you haven't seen it, say 2. D-Love hasn't seen it. You guys are busy professionals. You're busy. I feel you. But that's why we have the platform. At least you have a platform where you can see this trendy stuff with some lessons around it, right? Yes, so we'll wait for you. Oh, so you haven't seen it? Okay, let me play. You guys want to? If I could, you're ready. Let's see what Will has to say. Official statement. This was posted when he posted. I thought you guys would have seen it. That's a day ago that he decided to make this statement right here. Anyway, let me play. Let me stop playing and just play it.
For you, here's the thing. So, my opinion of the. I got something for you. Here's the thing. So, my opinion of the.
All right. So I don't know. There's somebody out there that will still look at this and say. Anyway, let me ask you guys. Cap. If you think it's capping, put a 1. If you think it's emasculated, put a 2 in the chat. You think it's capping, put a 1 in the chat. If you think it's emasculated, put a 2 in the chat. Let's go with that. Let's go with that. Let me play it again while we're doing that.
I got something for you. Here's the thing. So, my opinion of the.
Anyway, again, let me see your answer. So, listen, I know. Timothy, I saw it. You guys need to follow. I posted this yesterday on the short section. You should have seen it, right? Roro say waste of my time. They just trolling. Are they just trolling? Are you sure? At least the lessons are real, right? The lessons I extract are real, right? And you can see the pattern here that is consistent. Even before he said it, all the way till now, right? They're consistent, right? 3, 4, it's all for the money. Low bottom. Is it for the money? There is money behind this, I promise you. That's why I said if it wasn't that they're selling books, I would call it they're talking too much, right? But I think the journey they're sharing in the book, and of course making boatloads of money, they probably collected $1 million advance at least for the book, in addition to all the royalties that will come after that, right? So I just feel like I think their books will be revisited 5, 10, 20 years from now. Their books will be revisited because at that time everybody and their romantic love life will already be in the bottle because all of us are still capping. It's that bad, okay? Yeah, it's that bad. And then you will need some non-conventional wisdom, right? The ones that don't paint human beings as perfect when we all know that human beings are not perfect, right? Yes, you're gonna see more and more of that. Okay, so let me see what did they say. None of the above. Both of them are good behind the door. I think they are good behind the door. I think the part that we need to pay attention to also to give us some resolve here is that they've gone through shege. Don't get that twisted. Don't get that twisted. All right. They've cried their balls out for years. Okay. What they are doing is almost impossible. Obviously, you can see the public reaction, right? What they're doing is almost impossible. Okay? Especially considering that Jada gets to get rich, even bigger rich, if she divorces Will, if she's truly a Jezebel, manipulative, controlling Jezebel as the public paints it today. If she's truly one that she stands to make stupid amount of money and control his life. Okay? Not particularly from child support, from all those years of work they've done together. They literally built the empire together. So it's half at worst. Right? She will make a lot more money than she will make from selling a book. At least in this instance. Okay? So when they say don't try this at home, I think that's what they said potentially the name of their book is going to be. I think there's something to it. Okay? I think there's something to it. You know, August got caught in the web of dysfunctionality. If you just go hibernate, no need to speak. August might be all right. But August has issues. I don't know if you know his story. He has serious issues, which is why some people are saying Jada took advantage of him. But there's nothing new about that. So he has to deal with his own personal problems. Rose, I feel they could have presented this in another way. How? Elaborate. What do you mean? How could they have presented that it can be this bad and you can still walk through anything in life? Forget marriage for a second though. Forget about marriage, because I think we're stuck on the marriage thing. Just relationships in general, which you don't get to escape from for the most part, right? I know siblings that don't talk to each other. They haven't spoken to each other for 30 years. They're still alive. I know them. They're close, very close to me. Okay? Because they can't get through a simple misunderstanding, right? When you mix that all together with spirituality, a pastor said you are the witch. Pastor, when you mix that all together, I don't know if you have an idea the gratitude of what we're talking about, or the magnitude of what we're talking about. Not gratitude, Jerry, magnitude. I said gratitude, right? Do you have an idea how difficult gratitude is for human beings? Just I thank God for today, that I woke up today. Do you have an idea of how big of a deal that is? I think the public has something else coming for them in general. All right, the dating scene is a cesspool. It's very bad. Marriage is very bad for a lot of people. They've been trying everything else. You know, religious brouhaha. You know, Tony Gaskin keep running around town talking about people. I like his message, but there's something that I'm noticing. There's something extremely judgmental about his methods. As against Tim Ross. I want you to pay attention to it. Those of you that listen to the both of them, and then we'll talk more about it, right? I want you to pay attention to it. Okay? But I like those gentlemen. They're definitely 10,000 years better than the manosphere. Okay? Let's see. I see you, Tim. I'm coming to you. Will and Jada are good together like that. Each on the other side of the same coin. Who knows? We shall see. What we know is that they're putting on a front in public right now together, and it looks like it's one of the same. Until I mention Tupac, and they're like, "What do you mean?" Let me see here. Let me bring Tima Jare. Tima, how far are you there?
Yes, hello. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good.
How are you doing since the last 48 hours?
I mean, I feel a little better than yesterday.
You mean 2 days ago? That's been 2 days now. I wasn't
that
here
was 2
yesterday.
days ago. Oh, that was not yesterday. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I think I feel a little. I have more understanding, and then when I'm watching, like every time I'm watching like different interview, I think I watch with more of my own internal lens. You know what I mean? Like I'm not as judgmental as I was before.
Right.
But this is the thing. I can't get over the fact that Jada dated Augusta. You know, like it's like I'm not even based this on their relationship as a couple. You understand what I mean?
Not now. You're talking about that moment when that happened.
Right, that moment. Yeah, because it's like same way like you will look at relationship when a 40-year-old is running after a 19-year-old. It just doesn't make sense to me. You know, whether it's he or she to he. You know, I don't think a 40-year-old have a business with a 19-year-old, really, unless as a 40-year-old you have some kind of internal struggle that you haven't dealt with yet.
Right.
And for me, that says a lot. That I'm not saying Jada of today, but that says a lot of Jada
about that
then.
person, right? Does it say a lot about how Jezebelish she was, or how low she must have found herself? Which one would you say is more like? As in wicked. Do you say how wicked she was, or how low she must have gone? Which one of it?
I wouldn't say wicked, but I was probably gonna say manipulative in a way.
Manipulative because she wanted some bula from a young man. What's manipulative about that?
It's like a baby. It's like I mean, how much bula are you looking for?
You're talking about hurting the young man.
Right.
Oh, how old exactly is the young man? Because this is now becoming cap. Let me see.
He was his son's friend, like 20 or something, you know.
No, he wasn't his 20. He's 31 years old now. You guys are talking like he's 17 right now still. Stop the cap.
Really?
Stop the cap. He's 31 now. Okay.
Well, that was like how many years ago?
It was I think they came out on the Red Table Talk 3 years ago. He was definitely past 25. Does it make it? It's still disgusting comparing to our age. I'm just saying. I'm starting to hearing that people are saying it's like he was 16 or minor. No, it wasn't a minor.
Okay, forgive me then, Lord, because I'm not gonna lie. I'm looking at Jada's side eyes for that reason. And then, you know, the funny thing is they say he was in some kind of mental struggle himself. And I feel like, you know, if someone is in a mental struggle, you don't want to take advantage. I mean, I'm not saying she is, but it looks like she take advantage of. I don't know. It's just too messy for me.
It's messy. It is messy. It's messy.
Yeah,
Let me ask you a question. Do you have anyone in your life right now? It's not necessarily a romantic partner, right? Somebody in your life, could be a friend, more likely probably more like a family member. And once upon a time, they did something that you just like, wow, you did this much, like Osheito, right? But you don't really have a choice. And since then, you've kind of healed. But in that moment, you know what you felt when you found out that person did that thing. Do you have anybody, extended family, cousin, anything like that?
I do. You know what? I do. Actually, this was between me and my sister. Something happened between us years ago, right? But
your sister?
Time, yeah, like my own sister. Like, yeah, I mean, it's not, This was a long time ago, right? But it's at the time when that happened, I don't think I get hurt. Like it wasn't difficult for me to get over it. I guess because it's my sister.
So let's not use that example. Do you have somebody that's close, kind of like that, and you thought you would never talk to this person ever again in your life, but they're family, so somehow you're stuck?
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, currently I have a cousin that I don't talk to currently.
But you used to talk?
Yeah, that we used to talk. Yes.
All right, but are you guys like thousands of miles apart?
Yes.
That's what makes it easy it makes it a little bit easier.
I mean, I guess if we see each other,
if you have to see each other around each other from time to time, do you think it'd be harder to be around that person, come to family events?
No, not for me, because again, I'm just gonna maintain my cool, you know. It's just that I kind of remove myself a little bit because we are going different direction relationship wise. But like if I see her in person, I'm not gonna disrespect or angry with her in any way. We're still gonna be cordial. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's all it takes. Cordial. As human beings, you can't get stagnant at cordial. You can't.
No, really, I mean, I can do that with anyone pretty much, but I don't think I'm mature enough to do that in a romantic relationship. Right? Like if I'm gonna.
So that's because of your experience, right? If you, that's why I said they had some level of friendship that was just that strong. Like she kept saying, I couldn't break a promise, right? That I made.
Yeah.
She said I couldn't make that break, but the I is the I part of it is the keyword, right? It's unique to her. She's not trying to tell everybody that they shouldn't break promises. It's unique to her and that relationship. She couldn't break the promise she made to this person to just exit, but they were separated and they came up with a rule to everybody just go and do themselves and find themselves happy. But when you understand how that works, if you imagine it, it's probably hard for any romantic partner to come in between there, right? To the point where a 22, 23-year-old man is saying, Will give me his blessing. You see, that one is delusional, right?
No, I couldn't get it. Oh my God! Like,
right? See, why is it that the public would not be able to say, "Wait, he gave you his blessing"? Are you delusional? What does that even mean? Right?
What does that mean? Right.
Right. So, I can see through all of that. Like I said, they gave themselves shege because they had that passionate thing between them. I'm not saying necessarily toxic. It's probably more so a friendship. They can laugh. They can do this. They can say we're not together, and but they are cock blocking other romantic partners from coming to their life. They have children together, right? That's what I mean. When you see yourselves as family in that way, like if you have a sibling, most people have a sibling. If you're more than two, I don't have that type of sibling because we're only two. But if you have more than two, you have a sibling there's a distance of some sort. You guys kind of gang up against each other, right? And there's that sibling that probably said something behind your back where you felt in that moment you felt like I will never talk to this person ever again in my life. But because you have to be around each other, then you became cordial. And then human beings, the way our brain works, we look into the past with rose gold color lens. If you back off of each other and there's cordial, at least cordial, right? You remember good times. You only reflect on good times. If they keep being in your face and it's basbos, you only remember the toxic, right? But if you can be cordial at least, that's all it takes. You cannot be stagnant. There's no such thing as stagnant. It's either you're growing or you're dying. In terms of relationships too, there's no such thing as it's just stagnant. It's either we're growing bond or it's dying. That's how it works. It's just stagnant, So that's why I say if you have cordial at least, and you have to be around that person from time to time, if you have patience for yourself, it can only grow from there, right? It can only grow from there because what's happening? You are creating new experiences by default, right? Yeah. And those new experiences are replacing, like they're literally drowning out that toxic experience at that point, right? So when people say I have trust issue, right? I said you have trust issue. Congratulations, you're like the rest of us, okay? Well, you can rebuild trust, right? First of all, make sure you're not pouring from an empty cup, but also allow yourself. Create new experiences with this person. You don't have to force trust in them. Trust has no other choice than to creep back into that situation because you're creating new experiences. But that's only if you are patient enough to, or you are positioned enough to have new experiences with them, right? So I tell even people that want their partner back, I tell them like, relax. Heaven is not going to fall out of the skies. If they still have to be in your life, maybe because of your kids or anything like that, those are opportunities to showcase your new self. You create new experiences. Before you know it, you will end up on top of each other, inside each other.
Oh my God.
As opposed to if you have to be around each other, right? Now, this is on the part of the person who wants the other person back, not the other person that doesn't want. Right? If you want the other person back, it's your patience that's being tested ultimately, and it's your own self-esteem that's being tested. If you can't relax and just know that there's no guarantee and this person might never come back to you and be okay with that. If you're not okay with what I just said, you will push them further and further away because anxiety will overwhelm everything. You just keep pushing them further away because it will show in your behavior that you're anxious. But if you say, well, they've made a choice not to be together, you respect it, you leave it alone, you let them know if they change their mind. and you focus on your own life, right? And then if you do that just enough, if you do that, it's highly unlikely that they will find anything better than that out there. They will try.
Yeah, I hope my ex never found anything better than me. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Oh wow.
But I hear you.
Yeah, as long as we're talking about human beings that care about something. If it's a psychopath or a sociopath, I'm not talking about those people.
Oh, okay? Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. MOP, you are now saying, how can Will give his blessings to August? Whatever he's talking, he knows what he's talking about, right? I'm just trying to, just like you and I'm trying to picture.
I don't think he kind of, I don't know if he like verbally vomited around, maybe like by action. The
by actions, like, he's around.
Yeah, I mean, he saw me. He said, I guess so. He just think that as a blessing. Like, I mean, he's not worried about it. Like, he's okay with it, kind of thing.
Yeah. So best case scenario, Will said, "You have my blessing, bro. You want to date my ex-wife? You want to start blowing the back of my ex-wife, the mother of my kids out? You have my."
No way.
That's the best case scenario, right? The other flip side of it is like, you're the friend of my son. I've seen you around. You're a superstar, a rock star. Your music, we're good. You're in a relationship with Jada. We're separated. It's weird, but whatever. You guys okay? I don't have control of that, right? Is that Will giving blessings? At that point, if they raised you well, you said this man will kill me.
I know.
Right?
I mean, right? He's young and you say 27 is young, man.
Yeah, Roro said 22, 23, I guess, but old enough to, when I was 23, if a man tells me that about his ex, I'm not hanging around the house. Maybe I will sneak do it if it's that bad for me.
Yeah.
And I'm not coming to the public to come and tell the public that Will give me, bless me. I sold my soul into that relationship.
Right.
And by the way, they all keep saying relationship. They never use the word dating. They've never used the word sex.
It was a relationship. It wasn't it?
Yeah, they said relationship, but that could mean anything. I don't know what that means. They could be fingering each other's brain. Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah.
We don't know. That's not to justify it. It's still terrible, but I'm just saying.
Augusta, what's his name? He ended up dating now he's in a relationship with another guy now, not even a woman anymore.
Like right after, not now. That was right after the whole news broke.
Okay.
And I'm like, I can't take him too seriously. Like today, I was supposed to. I'm just gonna round up. We'll cover the rest of the story tomorrow. I thought I was gonna talk about Very Dark Man today. I was telling my wife, I can't take Very Dark Man seriously. There's some people when they talk, I can't take them too seriously. I just laugh.
Oh yeah, the guy from Nigeria, right? The TikTok guy.
Yeah.
It's been a while I watched him.
Like this guy makes sense. Like, I guess. Okay, if you say so. All right. It makes sense. Anybody can make sense. Even donkeys can make sense of the street.
That's right.
Yeah. But anyway, thank you, Tima, for coming up. Any other thoughts you wanted to share?
No, that's it. I just came for Jada. I mean, I have to back off Jada, but slowly for surely I will.
Yeah, it's that scar on her face. I think you guys will forget the scar is there after a while.
Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
All right, talk soon.
All right.
Bye. All right. So the main topic today, Dating Chronicles, the reality. I want to talk about that really quickly, then we round up. Let me see. Not to say, I don't see not to know. Not to say, one thing I'm grateful for is me and my sibling disagree, but don't fight each other. That's a blessing. Oh my God. Some families are toxic. You have no idea. You have no idea. But God bless you. You come from one of us. You come for one of us. Some family are so toxic among themselves, siblings, and if you still come for one of them, they will fight you together and they will go back to their malice. Have you seen that before? You never seen that before? Oh. Not to
He shock you.
yeah. Young, energetic, and strong. Okay, emphasis on strong. He's a swinger just like Will. Wahala. Is that rumors or somebody? One of them said that. At least August need to say that. August probably said some things in his lyrics, right? Because speaking of somebody who doesn't know how to shut up, if you are getting bekus and you're enjoying it, you can't shut up. You know why you can't shut up? Because your issues are probably deeper than this couple too, you know. But he will learn. He will learn, right? Not to say I have seen, yeah. So let's round this up today. With this last lesson. I'll be right back. All right, let's bring the greatest coconut head of all time to the table, to the pulpit. Kanye West and Julia Fox. All right, single moms. So let me ask you, ladies, especially ladies in the chat, what are some of the dynamics of dating a single mom? If a man, August Asena-ish wants to date a single mom, what are some code of conduct that you would say, hey, know this and no peace, right? That you would say, hey, you need to know this and no peace if you're going to date me. Can we start? Please give some thoughts. I want to hear your thoughts on this. Latu, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you for sponsoring the show. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So if somebody's trying to date a single mom, the men are listening. About 35% of them are here now. 35% of us are men here. So they're listening. They want to date. By the way, I tell them all the time to stop the cap. Most of them, they run their mouth, but they end up falling in love with a single mom. Okay.
Stop the cap.
Happens all the time. Okay. And the ones that are barking about it and loud about how they will never do it is because they've done it before and they didn't know some of the rules, some code of conduct. So they end up collecting woto. Right? They become the second child. Maybe the third, fourth, fifth child of the woman, right? And then they didn't like how it was treated. Men intrinsically, men need respect, right? It's not something we collect woto before we ask for. It's natural. We come out of the womb wanting it, not just from women, from other men, from society. We feel a certain way when we feel like we have respect, right? So give me some rules, in your opinion, that you feel like any man who is going to fall in love with a single mom should know, at least. Before I get into this story with Julia Fox, I'm waiting for you. Wait till I missed this one. D-Love says, MOP, it's just our respect for your point of view that is keeping me and Tima going on this matter. Truly, we're learning, but we never reach your level. Yeah, most people will not be able to comprehend all the way, but if you get the lessons, that's good enough. I hear you though. I respect your point of views too. That's why you guys come here, because I respect your point of view. Thank you so much for the donation, Latu. Yeah, so what are some of the rules that you would want to give, right? What are some of the rules that you would say, hey, if you're going to go date a single mom, you need to know this, you need to know that, you need to not do this, you need to do this. I'm waiting for you. I want to get your opinion before I continue. All right? Anybody has something? Rule number 1. Let's see. Thank you so much. D Love already gave me some. So she gave me 3. Rule number 1, have kids. 2, have kids. 3, my kids will not be sacrificed for this relationship. Ouch. 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 Anyway, I want to round this up. No, the audio should be back on now. You should be good now. Can you hear me? Yes? Can you hear me? Let me check myself. The audio should be good now. Yeah, I turned it off because I wanted to wait for you guys. I turned it off for a second. All right? Rule number 1, have kids, you said. 2, have kids, right? So if they don't have kids, don't come near single moms. Is that what you're saying? Like to say my kids are top priority to me. So if he doesn't have kids, would you consider him at all? Abi, you're saying no, you need to have your own kids. And why is that? Because there has to be other reasons behind that. Why is that? Right? If you're a young man, you want to date a woman who have kids, right? Couple of rules, because it's gonna happen to you. You're gonna fall in love with a seasoned Bekus, and then you're gonna come back here and say somebody gave you a blessing when you should be thanking your head that they didn't kill you overnight. Right? Yeah. Oh, so sometimes in the future we'll forget, but for now it's hot in the news. Oh, okay. No, you mean I have kids. Okay. Oh, 1, I have kids. 2, I have kids. Oh, okay. I just seen the eye. The eye was confusing my eyes. Sorry, I missed that. You have kids. Okay. So 1, I have kids. 2, I have kids. 3, my kids will not be sacrificed for this relationship. Listen, seasoned Kwekus is not your mate. These boys be falling in love with seasoned Kwekus, and then after they collect, they come back and say that will never be me.
Sorry.
Baba, stop the cap. Okay, ladies, it's all about how you carry yourself. These young men, they want seasoned Kwekus. They fall in love with it because there's something about it. They don't even know why, which is why they resent it so badly. That's why they are loud about it. Okay. If somebody has to say it out loud that they don't want a single mom, they're lying. It's a lie. It's either they're lying or they have no experience. Okay? Why the fuck you lie? It's one of the two. All right? So now, since we know they're going to do it anyway, they will fall in love. How many of them have fell in love with, one of them is walking around with Kim Kardashian's mother. Okay, one of them is walking around with Kim Kardashian's mother, and then the other ones are saying that will never be me. It's a lie. It's a lie. Okay, it's a lie. So I want to know. Let me see here. Kids are top priority. I think that's interesting. Now I could be in a position to come and tell you if you're going to date a person, right? Please don't make your kids priority over them. But then, if I say that, that's me capping.
Stop the cap.
That's capping. That's not, the issue is not that, okay? All right, the issue is that bond should be strong enough to make you question the bond with your children. But you probably will question that too. It's a lot to what I'm saying, okay? Roro said that one is for money, Joe. Okay, all right. At some point, if you keep seeing the money over and over, the effect of it gets watered down. See finish enter, but it's been there for a minute. MOP, here saying now around 40 years, could they mature? Is it 40? I heard this. Some people are saying 40 is the new 20, 50 is the new 20. I've been hearing that for a while, right? But Yeah, I've been hearing all kind of stuff. But what I know is that people are dating. They're dating much older, and the reality is that a lot of men that are a certain type of men that have means. They also tend to men with means. They have options, right? They have options in terms of what they So they might go from anywhere from 20 all the way to 60, right? It's cap that they don't ever date anybody above 30. That's a lie. That's a cap. But they have that wide range, right? But as a woman, typical women tend to say, I don't want too far. I don't want too younger than me. Like you can see Tima earlier was saying, he's too young at 22, 23. And men don't have that problem. If a man is 45, 50, he can still date as low as 18. Sorry, trigger alert, but that's the reality, right? Legal age and up, right? And society is okay with that at the general scale. Okay, so that's the reality, right? So that makes much of a difference, right? So, but the reality also is that some of these women end up dating younger, right? Dating younger. So, but we see all kind of different examples out there, What happened? What did I miss? Oh, actually, you say pedophilia. Okay, if you call it that, as long as it's legal, that's why we have rules of law in society. So, the rules. I have kids. Nobody has any other type of rule. I have kids. I have kids. I have kids. But let me cover this story, right? Julia Fox. I was about to say Julia Roberts, not Julia Roberts. I was about to say more like Julia Fox. That's her name, right? Where is she? All right, this lady right here. She has some things to say about dating Kanye West. Now, Kanye West was not much younger, but she had some interesting things to say, and I want to cover it, right? This is according to US Magazine, I guess US Weekly Online, right? Julia Fox says Kanye West was so needy in their relationship, it was like having a second baby. I would say that's a rule. Don't be needy, okay? Seasoned bekus, seasoned women, the last thing you want to do is come off as needy. It doesn't mean obviously nobody intentionally go there to be needy. If you come off as needy is what I'm talking about. If you come off as needy, you're not going to last, okay? She says like a second baby. Julia Fox is already a mom to a 2-year-old, and claims dating Kanye West was like having a second baby. The 33-year-old actress, who gets candid about her relationship with the rapper, 46 years old, in her new memoir, Down the Drain, so she has a memoir too, told Drew Barrymore on Tuesday, October 17, that she quickly knew they would not last as a couple. Fox and West, who met on New Year's Eve 2022 in Miami. Oh, it was just less than a year ago. Announced their breakup 1 month later on Valentine's Day. Wahala. And I quote, "I only could do it for so long because ultimately I think he needed a full-time person and I just couldn't be full-time." The Uncut Gems star explained, "I had my son, Valentino, and then he'd want to talk on the phone a lot." He wanted to talk on the phone a lot. Like I'd have to change diapers, so I bought a pair of AirPods. By the time she's buying AirPods, right, he's thinking like, I don't mind, I'm in love, it's Kanye West, it's yay, right? Let me buy AirPods. Not knowing that that's what she would resent later. Anyway, I bought a pair of AirPods so I could keep it in while I was doing mom stuff. It was so overwhelming and so unsustainable. Fox, who refers to West as the artist in her memoir, recalled how needy the Grammy winner was in their romance. Even though Valentino was her priority, somebody said it, my kids are my priority. She said even though Valentino was her priority, right, Fox shares her son with ex-husband Peter Artemiv, who she divorced in 2020. Okay, so she was a new divorcee, I didn't know. Ultimately, I cannot put anybody else first. Fox told Barrymore. Now, the real issue here is that a woman don't want to feel like she has to put one person above the other person. Okay. If you're a romantic partner to a woman who is a single mom, the last position she ever wants to be put is where she will have to say, my kids are my priority. If she's saying that while you are in it, it's probably not going to last. Doesn't mean she shouldn't put her kids priority, but there's something going on there. You're coming off as needy. So she's feeling the need to tell you, hey, Baba, you can't come above my children. By that time, usually it's already too late. Because the last thing that she wants to do is to be put in that position where she has to tell you. She kind of wants you to kind of know that obviously I got kids. Like obviously, right? Fox told Barrymore 48 on Tuesday, my son has to be first. It just became too much. I didn't sign up for to have 2 babies. I couldn't do it. It felt like 2 babies. Fox recorded mistakenly thinking our relationship with the Hurricane rapper would not become public. When I first met him, I literally thought nobody would ever hear about it, because a lot of the time you date the celebrities, but they're very hush-hush and they're like, well, Kanye needs attention. You see? Of course. Don't post a picture in my bathroom. So I kind of just thought it would be a secret, she told Barrymore. So when it suddenly got mysteriously leaked, it wasn't me. I really was just not expecting that at all, and then I just embraced it. I was like, okay, I'll do the fashion. Okay, so if you have leaky mouth too, right? Second rule, don't have a leaky mouth. Okay. I didn't say it was Ye that leaked it, but clearly Kanye West was loud enough for the thing to leak by itself. Okay, I'll do the fashion, I'll wear the clothes, I'll do what he says. Okay, during their short-lived romance, West was going through his high-profile divorce. See, that's delusional too. She had unrealistic expectations. Of course, the paparazzis will find them. Like, what do you expect, right? Of course, they will find you, right? So she was a little delusional there too. During their short-lived, West was going through his high-profile divorce with Kim Kardashian, with whom he shares 4 children. That's clout. That's like clout times 4,000. Fox remembered that the Chicago MC loved seeing her name in the headline. He loved seeing her name in the headline. He did want me to be bigger. He did, like, when I'd be getting a lot of press, he was thrilled. Right. But that was something about him, though. That was more so about him. He would have taken credit for it later. Like, I made you bigger, right? I made you who you are. Amber Rose, right? There's a few of them out there, right? I have like sworn off men. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, she said. Anyway, so those are some of the rules. Don't be needy and don't be loud as hell, because you might just get caught up in an entanglement that you haven't prepared for. You might just find yourself in a situation that you didn't plan for. You know, be guided. Okay, be careful. You might not be prepared for what you are seeking. Okay, but let me see if there's a couple other rules here. You know, a couple of things. You know, you need to be understanding and be patient. The same thing you have to do if you're in any type of relationship. You will need it even more if you're dating a single mom, right? You need to respect her time. Yeah, because she got babies. Okay. You need to be respectful to her children. I know. Respect children. Well, you want to put her in a position to put those children above you? Good luck. Okay. But if you have to compete with those children, it's not going to last. Okay. It's not going to last. The idea is to not even be in that position where you're competing with the children at all. Okay. So that's another one that you want to pay attention to. You definitely want to be supportive and encouraging, and that shouldn't conflict with, I like seeing your name in the headlines. That's loud. Eventually she will dump your ass because she probably can't handle what she thought she could handle. Okay. All right. Parental decision. Respect yourself when it comes to that, okay? She said, this is how I want it, especially if those kids are already teenagers. Stay in your lane, okay? Stay in your lane, if you have to do it at all. These are things that, some people say there's nothing wrong with dating a single mom. Well, these are some layers of issues you need to be aware of. These are reality now, okay? So be financially responsible for yourself, because that will come back and haunt you in the butt if you're not. Somebody said earlier that young man is following Mrs. Kardashian, what's her name? Mrs. Jenner, because of money. Even if it's not the truth, you cannot tell the public it's not the truth if you don't have your own money, okay? Well, those are some of them out there that I can think of, that just from that story alone. All right. Kanye's girlfriend equals to caregiver. Was she the most recent girlfriend? No, Kanye is married now. Yes, Kanye is married right now. Like Cher and 20-something-year-old boyfriend. Listen, there are more of them out there. For everything you see with celebrities, there's more. Thousands of them out there. Okay? All right? Celebrity is different from us, but not that much different. It's not that different, okay? All right? But yes, that's all I have on today's show. That's all I have today. Like I said, okay, don't be needy, okay? Neediness. This is true across the board, by the way, okay? Don't be needy, one, okay? Don't be loud, two. If you're a loud man, you probably can't sustain any type of relationship, especially if you're dating a single mom, okay? All right, and you will be in love and your feelings will be hurt, okay? Number 3, be understanding, okay, and be patient. Your patience will be tested a lot. You will feel emasculated, precisely, right? Who do you think feel more emasculated, August or Will? I'll leave the answer to you to figure out, right? Respect our time, respect our parental decisions. That's like 5, right? Just stay in your lane. She might ask for your help here and there, but you know, don't put yourself in a position where you have to compete with the children, okay? So if that means respectful to the children, be respectful to the children doesn't mean you become, you know, just be aware of that. If you're not aware of these things, you start arguing with women on the internet that you cannot date a single mother, okay? And the reality is that you're projecting. You ended up with a single mother and you don't collect, okay? See, I can see there, yeah, exactly. All right, so I'm gonna leave it at that for today. Do me a favor, if you watch this as a replay later, all the lessons I said, please list it in the comment area so that I can grab it from there. All right. On your way out, hit the like button, share, subscribe. I can't do too much beyond 7 o'clock because I have to turn off the heat and it gets cold in the house. In this season, I have to keep it at 7 o'clock, so I'm not being inconsiderate to the rest of my family here. Great show, MOP for president. Thank you. I appreciate you, D-Love, always. Thank you so much. All right. Take care, everyone. Do me a favor, on your way out, hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up all your notifications so that you can get notified whenever we drop these videos. I'll see you on tomorrow's show, 5 p.m. We'll be right back. We have to talk about Mobad. We have to talk about some other things that I didn't get to today, all right, because of time. Hopefully you've been enlightened and educated. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.